Arena reopened yesterday after assurances from management that the venue was safe. The federal government says it will not make changes to negative gearing to help its Help to Buy scheme over the line. Under the plan, the government would take a 40% stake in a property to help first home buyers get into the market. The Greens have threatened to derail the scheme, arguing Labor needs to curb negative gearing concessions to address housing supply. Prime Minister Anthony Albanese says that won't be happening.
The Greens only think they're in this position because the coalition are saying they'll vote against Help to Buy. If the coalition actually were capable of doing something other than saying no to everything that's put forward, then the Greens wouldn't be in that position. But if they want to block it, that's a decision for them.
One of the big four banks has revealed it saved some of its customers from ticket scammers to the tune of almost $300,000. Gabriel Hodson reports.
The National Australia Bank has revealed its customers have abandoned $285,000 in payments linked to bogus concert tickets in the last 3 months. NAB says it's a sign that people are stopping and thinking before finalising any bogus sale. The bank says there's been a dramatic rise in calls from customers about scams and fraud. This time last year, they were getting about 63,000 calls about scams a month. That's now blown out to 80,000.
Now turning to 5AA Sport.
Order a new roller door from Glider Roll before February 28 and receive a $100 gift voucher. T's and C's apply.
And now here's Tom Wren.
Thank you, Graham. Redbacks Jake Fraser-McGurk and Wes Agar have been brought into Australia's squad for tonight's third and final T20 clash with the West Indies in Perth. Josh Hazlewood has dropped out of the squad to prepare for the upcoming Test tour of New Zealand. The Aussies go into the game with an unassailable 2-0 series lead. Let's go to football, and former Adelaide captain Rory Sloane is set to do some running today as he continues his recovery from eye surgery. The Crows will head to Port Lincoln and have an internal trial on Friday. Meantime, Gold Coast Suns co-captain Tuke Miller is not shying away from finals expectations in Damien Hardwick's first season as coach. Miller has told Wide World of Sports everyone is competing for September.
We want nothing more than to play in September, so I think that Dim has openly talked about it. It's not something that we're scared of. It's something that we want to do, and we need to be challenging for finals. We have the team, like we talked about before, to get there.
The NRL's Integrity Unit is investigating an off-field scuffle between Broncos captain Adam Reynolds and star forward Patrick Carrigan. A video has emerged of the two tussling in front of a crowd in Brisbane's nightlife district. And there's one game in the English Premier League this morning. That kicks off in just under half an hour. It's being played between Crystal Palace and Chelsea. And that's the 5AA Sport.
Thanks, Tom. Now the 5AA forecast.
Stay cool. Service your aircon at Automasters. And keep cool with Cool Now, Pay Later options.
Sunny and 27 today. Tomorrow partly cloudy 24. Thursday warming up, mostly sunny 27. Friday sunny 30. Right now it's 22. More news as it happens on 5AA.
Yeah.
Introducing the all-electric 7-seat Kia EV9. Silence never felt so loud. Visit kia.com.au to find out more.
Kia, movement that inspires. Here at 5AA, we're all about supporting local. The Big Wedgie Inflatable Water Park is open all summer at West Beach Parks. Book your tickets now at thebigwedgie.com.au.
If you love your home but you've never been in love with your kitchen, the answer is not far away.
Certainly is not, Luce, and good morning to you. It's just 15 minutes up the freeway. That's where you'll find Balhanna Kitchens by Design. They boast the largest kitchen design showroom in the Adelaide Hills. And look, everything's manufactured there, so you won't be waiting months for everything to be shipped in.
Balhanna Kitchens by Design will organise all the sub-trades too, so you'll be dealing with just one project manager and one fixed price.
Fixed price, love those words. Balhanna Kitchens by Design. It's not too far to go to make your dream kitchen a reality. See more at their website, balhannakitchens.com.au.
We're with Bronte Manuel from Toop and Toop Real Estate. Bronte, I'm guessing the emergence of the internet flipped the property industry on its head.
Before the internet, buyers used to view properties from a range of areas. Now they type in a specific suburb in their devices and the surrounding areas are practically invisible.
When selling, what's the trick to making sure as many people as possible know about your home?
At Toop and Toop, we have a very effective way of geo-targeting buyers, making sure the West Beach buyer knows about a suitable home in Fulham Gardens and the Medindi buyer is alerted to a home in Prospect.
That sounds very technical. Why doesn't everyone do this?
For 32 years, we've spent endless amounts of money on research and development. That's why we keep delivering record results for our clients year on year.
To find out more, go to toop.com.au.
David Penberthy and Will Goodings, 5AA Breakfast.
6:07. Good morning to you. No, it is not Will Goodings this morning. David Penberthy is here, but Will is just having one day off, so Will isn't here. So it is Lucy Loken stepping in for Will this morning. David, I'm pleased to be with you. Good morning.
Good to be with you, Luce. Always enjoyed doing the show with you. Not trying to oust Will, of course. Well, we've done it a few times now. This is like putting on an old slipper.
I made the joke to you the other day. I said, well, mate, it's not like we've ever done a show together.
No, I know.
This will be the first. And you looked at me stunned and thought, we've done about 30.
Yeah, I reckon we're up there. We did the week before Christmas last year.
We did two and a half when Will and Alison had little Rosie.
That's right. The Miracle of Creation, a couple of years ago now. No, not that long.
Yeah, she'll be 18 months in April.
Really?
How quickly does that go?
18 months, crikey.
I know, she's gorgeous. She came in the office
That's right.
the other day.
She was one last year, wasn't she?
She was waving, she was smiling, she's absolutely gorgeous. But
she's a Goodings.
Well,
this is her natural habitat. I mean, we might not have Will here, but we have got his old man here, so we're only one Goodings down, and I think there's a certain inevitability about it that one day Rosie will be hosting her own show, don't you think?
That's right. Well, we've got to get Will's brother in here as well.
Yeah, he'd be good.
That means there'd be another Sam in the building. We've
got
about 45 Sams in here. We could take one more.
I've met Sam. He's a character. He's very entertaining. Good company.
Well, for all the Will fans, he will be back tomorrow. David, we were just chatting off air about how warm it is. It is currently 22.1 degrees here in the CBD. The coldest...
It looks like I picked the wrong day to wear a suit to work.
I know. The old job interview for after the show.
Oh, yeah, that's right. Right.
But if you slept uncomfortably overnight because it was too hot, well, the lowest temp in the CBD was 21.7 at 1:30 this morning.
What is it now? I'll get the old bomb app open.
22. It's only jumped up by 1 degree since our coldest temp. The sunrise is at 6:47. Yes, no blasphemy here.
Someone sent me a letter about saying G's. They got really upset, so I'm sorry.
Well, I was taught it was blasphemous to say G's.
Well, it's an abbreviation for, our Lord and Saviour, Jesus Christ, isn't it?
That's right.
So I suppose it is quite blasphemous.
6:47 a.m. the sunrise this morning.
Do you want to be technical about it?
Well,
it is clearly blasphemous. But it's one of those terms that's just entered the Australian vernacular, and people don't sort of think about what they're saying, I guess.
Well,
which is with the very point this letter writer made.
Lucky you didn't hear what I said at 5 a.m. because I walked into my garage and what could only be described as the world's largest spider web.
Oh, really?
And it was in the dark, and I thought I've either just decided to shed a lot of hair or there's a ginormous spider web currently all over me, and somewhere there will be a spider. But I'm just going to get
quite long hair too, Lisa. You might have brought it into the studio.
Well, I thought I'm going to proceed.
We don't want to repeat of that day that I was stung by a bee in the studio. And went,
ow! And you kept referring to it as bitten by a bee.
Bitten.
My God.
Well, they sort of bite you, don't they? Well, no, they don't really. They haven't got teeth.
If you see a spider on me, please just wave or do something because I just proceeded to get
Is that
in
like
the
a
car
recognised Loken phobia, the spider?
No, not at all. I'm not scared of them. Unless like a redback or a white tip is on me, that wouldn't be pleasant. But otherwise, no, they're fine.
I don't really mind huntsmen.
Huntsmen are fine. They're harmless.
Yeah.
You just flick them up the wall, up they go.
I mean, I wouldn't describe them as attractive.
Yeah,
they've got horrible
creepy looking
faces, haven't they? And those big fangs
sticking
out.
Spiders would have to be up there with the number one phobia. But I'm open to hear any bizarre phobias this morning. 8223 0000 for an early caller. Why not? Maybe your fear is getting out of bed or talking to people this early in the morning. That's fair enough.
Yeah, it's one of my phobias. Try to get over it every day. Maybe you're afraid of fairy bread. Because the health department is. Although, let's just sort out the nomenclature. Hundreds and thousands, please. Fairy bread does not feel like a right South Australian term to me. I reckon growing up, it was always hundreds and thousands. Or do you say fairy bread?
I say fairy bread because to me the hundreds and thousands are the coloured balls just in a packet. So, so you put the hundreds and thousands on the bread.
To make fairy bread.
To make the fairy bread.
So the recipe then for fairy bread is margarine and hundreds and thousands and bread.
Yeah, well, I use butter, but yes.
Butter. Yeah, well, yeah. I'd prefer butter too, but I think, you know, if you're doing a kids' party... Buy it in bulk. $8 Lurpak container, are you? I think you're just going for the...
Speak for yourself.
The cheap and cheerful margarine.
Yeah,
but has the whole world gone mad? Like, I don't really care about the fairy bread thing. In fact, I can sort of see the logic behind that. Like, if you're sending your kids every day and they're eating nothing but hundreds and thousands, maybe you should expand your repertoire.
Yeah, it's just many balls of sugar on carbs with margarine.
Yeah.
Yes.
But the real killer in this... ham and frites. Ham. A single slice of ham. Now, the Western Australian Health Department has gone the whole hog, so to speak. Apologies to any pigs listening. And said that ham should be treated as a banned red food. They've got a green, yellow, red stoplight system, and they have said... ham verboten.
They've got red 1 and red 2, I note, in the paper this morning. And another one that stunned me under red 2 was coated muesli bars.
Oh, yeah. Anything like that is...
Which...
Even though most kids are running around like maniacs and could probably eat a whole box of... In fact, I have seen entire boxes of muesli bars vanish in one day in our house.
They've put the muesli bars under the same category as deep-fried chicken.
Yeah.
Which I don't feel... I get that muesli bars are very high in sugar and a lot of that's fructose or just bad sugar, but to put in the same category as deep-fried chicken, for school kids, I don't feel quite on par.
But I think that the idea that a ham sandwich is somehow... You know what this is? This is a massive guilt trip on parents by a bunch of people who I reckon have got too much time on their hands or don't have any children. Like the idea that we're all meant to... you know, come up with this bespoke daily lunchbox, when the reality is that if your kids are leading an active lifestyle, sugar doesn't hurt them. Sugar does not hurt them, it gives them energy. My kids would spend 2 hours a day running around like lunatics. And they eat Milo bars, they eat muesli bars, they eat ham sandwiches, they had chicken nuggets for dinner last night, dipped in tomato sauce. I mean, admittedly as well, they had carrot. Cauliflower, had some plain pasta.
It's about the balance.
Yeah, it's about the balance, but sometimes it's not about the balance. Like, you should see some of the things I put in my kids' lunchboxes over the years. I should be in jail. I remember one day I'd run out of stuff, and I went, oh no, I just haven't done their lunches. And I looked in the pantry, and all that was there was a big box of TV snacks, and I thought, that'll do.
Yum.
They remember that breakfast. They loved that breakfast. Oh, Dad, this is a really good breakfast. We're eating a box of TV snacks in the back of the car.
Who wouldn't love that unless you're lactose intolerant? 8223 0000. Would love to hear your thoughts on the fairy bread debacle. I mean, it is one of our all-time party snacks. So nominate your favourite party snack while you're there. And we are also talking calls about what you're scared of this early in the morning. Sally in Hillcrest has called in. Morning, Sally.
Morning, how are you?
Very good, Sally. What are you scared of?
The Chinese dragons and the Chinese lions that they use for their dances.
Well, you're going to have a bad day today, because isn't today Chinese New Year, or is this week, isn't it?
It's all this week. Sally, you're talking about the ones that sort of crop up in Rundle Mall and sometimes at restaurants and the markets when they do the festivities.
Yep. And at Arndale last Saturday, so I just ran between shops. I'm absolutely petrified. I've been known to hide behind marquees at events just to avoid them.
Is that Arndale Kilkenny, Sally, the one near Hanson Road?
Yeah.
I got to say, that's probably one of the highest concentrations of places where you're likely to find dragons in Adelaide too, isn't it?
Sally, what started this fear?
I don't know. I've had it ever since I was little. We were somewhere and I saw one and I did not like it. And yeah, I still to this day, my kids think it's hilarious, but I cannot handle them. They freak me out. My partner wanted to go out for Chinese New Year and I'm like, I can't, because I can guarantee we'll find one. And yeah, no, that's me gone.
Keep away from Goodger Street, Great Street, Moonta Street.
Sally, thank you. So Lunar New Year technically
was
phobia. Saturday the 10th of February and celebrations continue all this week.
Worse for Sally too, it is the Year of the Dragon.
It is.
So it's double dragon.
I wonder what that means.
Because you got the dragon, you've got the dragon creature, but you're probably going to have more of them because it's not like the year of the dog or the cat or whatever. Certainly not the year of the pig if you're the health department.
Certainly not. You can just read all about that today's front page of The Advertiser. Marge in Hampstead Gardens, good morning. What are you scared of?
Myself, when I look at myself in the mirror when I wake up.
Come on, Marge.
Aren't we all, especially at 3 o'clock in the morning?
What about Marge's deadpan comic delivery? That was good.
Thank you for your call, Marge. Naomi in Osborne has called in on the school lunches topic. Morning, Naomi.
How are you guys?
Yeah, good, thanks, Naomi. What are your thoughts?
Well, I reckon, there's a problem, there's a solution. I think maybe it might be an idea for one public school, one private school, every child. Local butchers, your bakeries, your greengrocers with your veggies and your fruit. Smash over recess and lunch for 1 month. Then, hey, why don't the schools try making it inclusive in the school fees?
Yeah, well, there's some countries do provide
UK,
food.
France
does, doesn't it?
Yes, when I was at school there in year 10 for a few weeks, we had cafeteria lunches.
A mate of mine lived in France for 6 months, and he said the French education system, if you arrive, you're allowed to enrol your kids. It's like education is just regarded as a right. You don't need to be a citizen to access it. He sent me a copy of the school lunch menu, and this wasn't like they were going to some la-di-da Spooner school. They went to the local public school in the south of France, and the kids would eat zucchini soufflé and things like this. Seafood risotto was the main meal. It was like French bistro cooking.
The highlight of the lunches was you got fresh baguette with everything, and it was unlimited. They had just a whole basket of baguette. You could just jump in and take baguette with your zucchini soufflé.
Sounds all right.
Luke in Craigmore, last one. What are you scared of?
Well, this happened to me just the other day. As you know, I'm a truck driver. Well, you may not know that, but anyway, I am.
No, we know, Luke.
Yeah.
We know now.
I was out in the middle of nowhere, like I'm talking nowhere, and I was driving the truck and I was like, really needing to go to the toilet, so I pulled over in a parking bay where there was a toilet there, and I thought, yep, that'll do. Wasn't a car around, nothing around. It was in the middle of the night, nothing around it, not even another truck. Get out of the truck, go to the toilet, open up the door, and there was another man walking out as I was walking in, and it absolutely freaked me out.
Oh, my God. You haven't seen There's Something About Mary, have you, Luke?
I could just imagine the profanities that Luke could have spat out in that precise moment.
Oh.
All of which we can't repeat, of course.
One morning coming to work, I was reversing. It was pitch black, middle of winter, and there was someone standing behind my car.
Yeah.
In the back alley. It scared the living hell out of me.
It is 6...
Because they walked straight past the passenger door and they looked at me and then they tapped on the window and said, "What are you doing?"
You said, "Well, what are you doing?"
My God. That was the most scared I'd ever been in my life. So I stand with Luke.
It is 6:19. We'll get to news headlines after this.
Breaking news.
Sky News Australia can reveal
in a major development,
you can stream your favourite Sky News shows.
It's a brand new way to join the battle of ideas.
Here you won't hear an echo.
Debate is essential to a healthy democracy.
Access the latest news, sport and weather.
Plus the opinion that you won't find anywhere else. Your favourite shows, one app. Stream for $5 a month. Download the Sky News Australia app right now. Conditions apply.
It's Edward from Edwardstown Mazda, South Australia's #1 destination for Mazda. Edwardstown Mazda has a very serious offer, so this is my most serious voice. This month get savings equal to the on-road costs, plus free servicing on all 2023 plates. T's and C's apply. I'm Edward from Edwardstown Mazda, and I'm being very serious right now.
It's time to give uncomfortable dentures and failing teeth the flick. Modern dentistry has come a long way and you deserve better. At Next Smile Australia, get long-lasting teeth, a smile you'll want to show off, and the foods you love, well, they are back on the menu. Next Smile Australia offer the original all-on-4 dental implant procedure that's transformed teeth replacement for over 25 years. Performed by dedicated all-on-4 surgeons with over 4 decades of experience and with a clinically proven 98% success rate, it's no surprise surprised, this is the gold standard of all-on-4 procedures. But you can only get this level of experience in one place, and that's Next Smile Australia. Get back to living your best life. To book a complimentary in-person consultation, go to nextsmile.com.au.
Holiday Wonder's amazing 10-day Tasmania tour, just $4,450 per person, includes bonus flights to and from Hobart. Imagine 10 days touring the Apple Isle with quality accommodation, meals all the way, and highlights including a cruise on Gordon River with lunch, wonderful Freycinet National Park and Cradle Mountain. We'll even pick you up from your home. Our special bonus means every passenger receives return airfares. Adelaide's amazing 10-day Tasmania tour departs Saturday 9th of March. Book now at holidaywonders.com.au.
5AA Breakfast is streaming live right now. To watch, simply head to 5AA on Facebook or YouTube.
David Penberthy and Will Goodings. This is 5AA Breakfast.
News headlines on this Tuesday, the 13th of February. Police are investigating a shed fire at Christie Downs last night. Crews responded to the blaze on Nadia Crescent around 7:30 p.m. The shed, as well as a motorbike, were destroyed. It is being deemed as suspicious.
No good.
No good. Today is expected to be the busiest day for wholesale flower traders leading up to Valentine's Day. For those who need a reminder, Valentine's Day is tomorrow. The National Flower Centre.
I didn't know it was tomorrow. Thank you. I'm serious. I did not know it was tomorrow.
This headline is all for you, David. The National Flower Centre thinks they will sell more than 1 million flowers. While roses are still the most sought-after flower, other varieties include lisianthus and carnations, as they're becoming increasingly popular with younger generations. Banksia farm owner Michael Pavlo says they plan for this day, today, the day before Valentine's Day, months in advance.
At least 4 to 5 times the amount of product will be sold to a normal week. It's just such an insane increase in demand for product. It's almost impossible to scale up to the capacity that is required to meet demand, but we do our best.
Where do you stand on the Valentine's Day question, Liz? Are you cynical or you've embraced it?
No, don't. It's just tomorrow's just a Wednesday.
Okay. I thought you might be into it. I thought you might like it.
No.
Yeah, I find there's a lot of really badly made crap you can buy on Valentine's Day. I noticed it.
I think that's my issue with it.
Bears that say things like "I love you," that sort of stuff.
I understand the sentiment, but shouldn't you treat your partner with kindness and love every day, and then not buy them useless stuff that just collect dust?
Yeah.
I get if it's something really special, like I don't know, diamond earrings or something, but otherwise, it's just
diamond earrings. You wouldn't say no to that, would you?
Well, I would. I don't have my ears pierced.
Seriously?
I don't have a single piercing nor a tattoo. How boring.
What about that? That's not very millennial of you.
I know.
Cats are all the rage now. You feel a bit left out some events.
I'm hitting a milestone birthday this year, so perhaps it's my year to do something wacky like get my ears pierced.
Yeah, why not? Why not?
No,
you're never too late.
I'd rather get a tattoo than a piercing.
Would you really?
Stay tuned.
Okay, watch this space.
Mum and Dad, stop listening.
I was just going to say, and a big shout out to the Loken family.
Yeah, everyone will be surprised the moment I get a tattoo. More than 1 million welfare claims are yet to be processed through Services Australia. The agency takes charge of Centrelink Medicare and child support. Its new boss, though, is hoping to slash the number of claims by 60% by the middle of this year. So they want to slash 600,000 welfare claims by June.
What do they mean welfare claims? I don't understand that. Welfare payments, welfare claims?
I guess so, ones that need to be sort of back paid.
Yeah, okay.
I'm assuming.
These are the same people who bought your robo-debt.
Mm.
Not a good track record.
The number of men and women joining the Defence Force is falling as more walk away from the profession. The former Morrison government did set a goal of an 80,000 strong army by 2050, but there are concerns the target is not being reached quick enough with just 57,000 ADF members.
Yeah, you couple that with all the toing and froing about, what we're going to do with the frigates and speculation about if AUKUS is Trump-proof or, forget Trump, would it survive a future cash-strapped Australian government, perhaps a more left-wing government, perhaps a more inward-looking conservative government? And I sort of think it almost looks like we're kidding ourselves a bit about our capacity for defence self-reliance in this country.
Although
hopefully no one will ever turn up and say, hey, you've got all that space, we'd like some of it.
What, the desert that's uninhabitable?
Well, yeah, there's plenty of Australia that's still pretty inhabitable.
but then they say, well, don't touch it because it's just a beautiful place that ought not to be touched.
Yes.
And today is World Radio Day. The Communications Minister has highlighted the significance of broadcasting this 13th of February. Over many years, radio has remained an essential way of communication, as we know, especially during natural disasters and the COVID-19 pandemic. Michelle Rowland says radio allows for diversity and the sharing of stories.
And radio is one of the oldest forms of communication. And on this World Radio Day, I think it's important to recognise how much radio has really stood the test of time. They continue to ensure that it punches well above its weight when it comes to diverse voices and stories.
There you go, Dave. 13th of February, World Radio Day, and the day before Valentine's Day.
I know. Remember those dates. Hey, this is a great text from Gav talking about phobias. He says, my phobia is I'm scared to walk down the street in case I trip over Barnaby Joyce. He should stick to the Heineken Zeros.
There's a real lesson there, isn't it? Don't
Rules
drink
to
or
live
take
by
drugs.
From Gav, yes.
A quick weather update before we get to Tom Wren. The UV, despite not being 39 or 40 degrees today, the UV is still going to be a level of 11, which is extreme. And when the UV is 3 and above, cover up, use sun protection, stay SunSmart, download the SunSmart app. Today is going for a top of 28, which we will hit sometime this morning. We reached 37.9 in the CBD yesterday, so thankfully we're not hitting that today. So top of 20, 27, 28 in the city today, 25 tomorrow, 28 Thursday, 32 on Friday, 34 on Saturday. Hottest place in the state yesterday, Port Augusta and Woodner, both hit 42 degrees.
Yikes.
A man who had the best day yesterday with the Super Bowl 58 is, of course, Tom Wren. Order a new roller door from Gladroll before Feb 28 and receive a $100 gift voucher. T's and C's apply. Morning to you, Rennie.
Morning, Lucy. Morning, David. Yeah, it's a real thing, Super Bowl fever. I was down at Sky City and people get into it. They take the day off. They get dressed up in their jerseys. They're into the whole colour, the bling, the excitement. It's always been big in the States, but Super Bowl fever is catching on worldwide, and I think it's so accessible. People love it. They get right into it.
Try as I might, I just cannot wrap my head around that game.
Yeah, and
I
that's...
find it... And I was doing stuff around the house yesterday, and when it was extra time, I watched the last extra time period.
Yeah.
Well, how do you go with it as a sport, Tom? Do you love it?
No, I think because now I understand the rules. I've got a best mate who lives over... He was in New York for about 10 years. He's now in Chicago, family over there. And he sort of taught me the rules as I've gone along. Once you understand the game, it makes it a lot more enjoyable.
Yeah, sure.
I still don't understand all of the nuances and how it works, but I don't mind it. It took me a while, but now I'm really enjoying it.
Yeah, yeah.
And yesterday was good, and it was a great finish. Let's just have a listen. It's 22-19, overtime. The Chiefs have got one play to either tie it back up with a field goal or get a touchdown. This is how it finished.
First and goal, clock running inside 10 seconds. They have 2 timeouts. Can they win it right here? Mahomes on the move, throws, touchdown! Kansas City wins! Mecole Hardman!
Unbelievable. He's the best player I've ever seen in my life.
Great call on ESPN, and that's the call right there that people are going to debate now. Is he going to be the greatest of all time? He's already in that discussion. He's won 3 Super Bowl rings in 5 years. This is a 30-team competition, right? So they're not easy to win. They didn't have the best team, but he's the best player, and in the big moments, as you know, David, Lucy, things just slow down, and he made it look easy.
Well, that touchdown was bizarre. It was all about the positioning. Like, it was such a clever setup.
Yep.
And they just caught the 49ers completely off guard.
Totally
and he
off
just
guard.
stand there on his own.
Yep. And so in terms of quarterbacks...
Easy throw, though.
It was, yeah. They made it look easy, didn't they? Just
dolly.
dinked it over the top. Tom Brady won 7 Super Bowl rings, which is phenomenal. And then Terry Bradshaw and Joe Montana won 4. He's won 3. He's only 28. Will he win 5, 6, 7? Who knows? But you're right, David. It's an acquired taste. The last 2 minutes take 17 minutes to complete. Every play...
Oh, God. This is the sport where time just stands still, honestly.
And that's the thing. So every play is an event, but that's how the Yanks love it. You know, everything is magnified, analysed, you know, to the nth degree. That's what they love. They love it all coming down to these moments of whether you stand up and accept the pressure and shine or you fall over. And Patrick Mahomes, Travis Kelce, you know, Usher at halftime. I didn't mind them. Not the best ever, but they were good.
Yeah,
them.
Or them, him.
Usher and
Alicia Keys.
Here is a bit of Usher.
Y'all say, I'm so got me feeling.
not the best. Out of 10 before the news. Rennie, what did you give that performance?
The Usher and Alicia Keys and everything, 6?
6 out of 10.
Is that a bit rough?
No, it's generous.
I'm going.
I thought it was lame.
Yeah, I'm going 5.
It's boring.
Yeah.
Going 5.
Better acts at the Highway Inn on Anzac Highway on a Friday night than that nonsense.
Thank you, Tom Wren.
Pleasure.
Up next is the news.
This is Adelaide's 5AA.
Sunny and 27 today with the 6:30 news. I'm Graham Goodings.
From chips to replacements, make Complete Windscreens your insurer repairer of choice. CompleteWindscreens.com.au.
Members of State Parliament have been warned that our main nighttime entertainment strip, Hindley Street, is in danger of becoming a ghost town after dark. David Bruce reports.
West End advocate Tony Tropiano says urgent action is needed to revitalise the once bustling West End. He says it's cause for alarm that 12 entertainment venues have closed down in the past 12 months. And he's convinced part of the reason is because of a lockout provision preventing people from entering licensed premises after 3 in the morning, as well as the mandatory use of metal detectors after midnight, restrictions on what type of alcohol can be served, and the requirement to have CCTV. MPs are split on the issue, with some saying the late night code has reduced harm and anti-social behaviour, while others think the issue should be examined by a parliamentary committee.
There are concerns more men and women are walking out of the Defence Force than are joining. Military numbers are down to 57,000, just 40% of a target set by the Morrison government. Israel is being warned against a full-scale military operation in the Palestinian city of Rafah on the border with Egypt. Dozens of people have been killed in strikes on the city overnight. The UN Red Cross and the UK's Foreign Secretary say there's no safe area for evacuees to relocate to during a ground offensive. Hisham Mahana from the International Committee of the Red Cross says hundreds of thousands of lives are hanging in the balance.
The few remaining hospitals in Khan Yunis Governorate that are still struggling to maintain operational are being surrounded. They are going to turn into morgues if they are not replenished soon with the medical supplies, with the oxygen, with the food and fuel to keep their facilities running.
More than 1 million welfare claims are yet to be processed through Services Australia. The agency takes charge of Centrelink, Medicare and child support. Its new boss is hoping to slash the number of claims by 60% by the middle of the year. South Australians are being encouraged to show their support for organ and tissue donation by organising or participating in a Gift of Life walk. More than 1,800 Australians are currently on the waiting list for life-saving transplants, and while 4 in 5 Aussies say they support organ donation, only 36% have officially registered. Scott Clouder from Gift of Life says the walking events celebrate the gift of organ donation while encouraging more of us to sign up and discuss the decision with our family.
The Gift of Life walk has been running for many years now, and it's a chance for people to do a healthy walk but also get together with their community and their family and talk about organ and tissue donation. So it's a subject we don't talk about often enough, and so this walk is a chance to bring people together and encourage people to register to be organ and tissue donors.
Now turning to 5AA Sport.
Order a new roller door from Glider Roll before February 28 and receive a $100 gift voucher. T's and C's apply.
And here's Tom Wren.
Thank you, Graham. Let's start with a little bit of cricket. The T20 series between Australia and the West Indies will wrap up tonight when the two sides meet in Perth. The Aussies currently lead that best-of-3 series 2-0 and bring in Redbacks Jake Fraser-McGurk and Wes Agar into the side. Paceman Josh Hazlewood's being rested ahead of the upcoming Test tour of New Zealand. Let's get to a little bit of football. Port Adelaide captain Connor Rozee admits it's been a big adjustment since taking on his new role. The 24-year-old has taken over from the retired Tom Jonas, and he told Rowie and Timmy G there's a bit that goes into it.
Sort of adjusting to that extra bit of responsibility at training, and then off you, I guess there's just a lot of extra meetings and talking about people other than yourself has been probably the major change in pre-season so far.
The Power will hold an internal trial match at Alberton on Friday night, while the Crows will also have an internal trial in Port Lincoln this Friday. And the English Premier League match between Crystal Palace and Chelsea has just kicked off, scores locked at 0-0 in the very early stages. And that's the 5AA Sport.
Thanks, Tom. Now the 5AA forecast.
Stay cool. Service your aircon at Automasters. And keep cool with Cool Now, Pay Later options.
Sunny and 27 today. Tomorrow partly cloudy 24. Thursday warming up a little, mostly sunny 27. Warmer Friday, sunny and 30. Right now it's 22. More news as it happens on 5AA.
David Penberthy and Will Goodings. 5AA Breakfast.
6:36 this Tuesday, the 13th of February. Will Goodings is away just for the day, so if you are a Will fan, he will be back tomorrow. So it is Lucy and David right through till 9 o'clock. We'd love to hear from you this morning. 8223 0000. Give us a ring on any topic this morning. Or, of course, you can text us on the Dutton's text line. We'll have a sus in a moment. Thanks to Dutton's, Big 10 Ford, GWM, Haval, Hyundai, Isuzu, Ute, Mazda, Mitsubishi, Nissan, Ram, Subaru and Volkswagen. Dutton's easy to do business with, Dave.
Well done, Lise. Bit of a mouthful. That is the world's longest plug, isn't it? What about this? I feel like cutting this text out and pasting it into a column I might write for this Sunday. No name provided, sadly. Tell us who you are, because I reckon you deserve credit for this. The do-gooders get better every day. My son is training hard to be part of an SANFL junior development squad. Over the Christmas break, he ate 11 slices of bread during the day with a mix of Nutella, Vegemite and cheese and ham and cheese toasties. He's as skinny as a rake, without an ounce of fat on him. As my grandpa said, you need fuel to run the train. Hear to that.
For sure. This one I like from Gav just on the Super Bowl. He said, the Usher performance gave me time to rearrange my sock drawer.
Oh, it was just terrible. It was really bad, I thought. Sorry to the 3 Usher fans yesterday who rang in, but not everyone's cup of tea.
I really like Usher, but I'm standing by my 5 out of 10 for that performance. Something, though, that we love, and it is a bit more local, coming up in the next few months is the McLaren Vale Vintage Classic. Now, excitingly, if you're a regular that takes part in this event down in the wonderful wine area of McLaren Vale, registrations are now open, and we are joined by the chair of the McLaren Vale Vintage and Classic, Nigel Williamson. Good morning to you, Nigel.
Good morning, guys. How are we?
Yeah.
We're good, Nigel. Now, this is always a terrific event. Such a picturesque part of SA to drive through as well. But you get the double enjoyment of the drive and also doing it in all these fantastic old cars. Are you there? I think we've lost Nigel. Oh no.
Well, that's right. We'll get back to Nigel. Here's just another text on the Super Bowl on 0448 08 1395. Super Bowl concert. Allegiant Stadium, home of the Las Vegas Raiders, has had quite a few bands play there since it was built. All have failed in sound quality. Too much echo. It was built for sports football, not show pony concerts. Interesting take on the old Usher performance. Here, let's see if we've got Nigel back. Nigel, have we got you again?
Yep, I'm back.
Yes, no worries. Well, we were just saying how excited we are because you get to travel through McLaren Vale and all these wonderful cars, but this year there's actually going to be the luxurious Rolls-Royce fleet for the first time.
We're going to have a fleet of Rolls-Royces among many other cars. We've got Nashers, we've got Jeeps, we've got the Batmobile even back again from last year, Ferraris. Yeah, the Batmobile.
Not the original Batmobile.
The early original Batmobile. Well, not the car, but a replica of.
Yeah, right. Wow. Is that locally owned, or is someone
locally
bringing it?
Owned?
Seriously?
Locally owned and built.
Has he got the outfit as well?
We don't need to see him in the outfit, I promise you.
Strictly the underpants on underneath the pants. That's good news.
Correct.
Nigel, it's been going for 18 years, or this is the 18th year. I'm reading here you attract somewhat over 600 vehicles. Has that been
the last few years we've had at least 600 vehicles. Fills the Serafino car park before we even start, and takes almost an hour to run through the main street.
When it first started 18 years ago, how many cars did you have then?
Look, it was run by another guy, Trevor Sharp, and it was only just a small group of people. But yeah, it's grown every year and got to be quite a show now.
So what's the criteria for vintage and classic? Does that... I presume that means it would go up to the 70s, so would you have muscle cars?
We're happy to have anything that you think's amazing and exciting. We've got Ferraris, Lamborghinis that are current model cars as well.
Okay, so if someone was lucky enough to nip into some Chateau Moteur style showroom today and pick up a Lamborghini, they'd be welcome to rock up.
We'll happily welcome along.
Yeah, okay, terrific. And a lot of money raised for charity too, Nigel, which is good.
A lot of money raised for charity. We've got the local CFSs get some money from it. The Koala and Echidna Rescue and the Women's and Children's Hospital all receive money from the event.
So, Nigel, registrations are open. When does registration shut and when is the event?
The event's on the 14th of April. Registration's open now. You can go onto the McLaren Vale Vintage Classic website, which is vintageandclassic.com.au. We also have the night before a charity dinner with a guest speaker, which this year is Cameron McConville.
Oh, yep. He's a bit of a motorsport name, isn't he?
Huge motorsport name, done a lot of Bathurst races.
Yeah,
a lot of other supercar racing.
Yeah, absolutely. And a lot of great wineries involved as well. Paxton's, Hardy's, K Brothers, Shingleback, Beck Hardy, love Beck Hardy, Chalk Hill, all good wineries.
All those 14 wineries this year.
Beautiful.
They all put on music and food for the day.
Well, that sounds like an excellent day.
Thank you, Nigel. Nigel Williamson there, the chair of McLaren Vale Vintage and Classic. So 14th of April is the big day. They get 600-odd cars at least, plus 20,000 spectators down there.
It's such a beautiful place to go for a drive. Like I just love driving. Like, every time I'm down there, it doesn't matter how many times I've done it, particularly on a Saturday morning, going the back way through those hills down the southern end of Wollonga, where you drive around towards the Wollonga markets, and you're a little bit elevated and you can see all the vineyards. It's just beautiful.
Someone on the text line says, take the Kluger, Dave.
The Kluger.
Register your Kluger.
Oh, you've just given up on life owning a Kluger, haven't you?
Not at all. I think they're fabulous cars, having never owned one. But they look lovely. Yours looks great.
Like a soccer mum driving that damn thing.
Call in this morning, 8223 0000. We'd love to hear from you. You can share your thoughts on what are we, the nanny state, getting rid of fairy bread in schools. We'd love to hear your take on school lunches and what's been deemed in the traffic light green, orange and red system.
Seriously, how impertinent is government these days? Like, is there any part of our lives that they don't want to stick their damn beaks into?
Not really.
Like the lunchbox. Like, no. Let's leave us alone. We know what we're doing.
Well, it's finally reached politics. It hit mum influencers, TikTok, all that years ago. Now it's finally hit politics.
If they want to have a real look at it, they need to look at the massive correlation between the huge provision of junk food at the expense of everything else in the really poor suburbs. Like, there are intersections in this country that tell the story of where the obesity problem is, and it's places where one corner is a Hungry Jack's, the other corner is a Red Rooster, and the other corner is a Macca's, and God knows why, in the middle of a cost of living crisis, people spend so, like, occasionally we go to Macca's, right, to get the breakfast deal. So
did you sell your left arm to pay for it?
Well, for two adults, and well, the older kids are adults now. If it's all six of us, that is literally like an $80 proposition.
So I went to McDonald's
for some muffins and coffees.
I went to McDonald's on Saturday. One bacon and egg McMuffin and one small orange juice was $9.95.
Yeah, well, this
$10.
is it. You take that same amount of money to Gagani's or to a suburban, like, just go to a fruit and veg section in like a Foodland or something. Like, if you're down at Seaford or Moana, there's a little IGA there that is basically giving fruit and vegetables away. You know, compared to your posh city-based supermarkets like Panorama and what have you. You're like, so much money is wasted, and the consumption rates, it's the standard. And that's where if you're living on that, you're going to wind up big as a house.
Stacey in Richmond's called in on Pancake Day. Stacey, we'll get to you shortly. We're just going to head to Ange first of all with a traffic update. Morning, Ange.
G'day, guys. How are you?
Good, thanks, Ange.
Mate. What have you seen?
There's a bit of a nasty accident on the Northern Expressway just past the Port Adelaide turnoff, but heading towards Port Wakefield. There's a car on its roof. People are trying to get the driver out at the moment. So the traffic's at a standstill at the moment, guys.
Thank you, Ange. Thanks for the update there. Stay safe to all those involved. And if you are caught up in that traffic, please let us know how you get on. Stacey, you've been waiting very patiently to tell us about Pancake Day. Good morning to you.
Good morning, Lucy. Good morning, David.
How you going there, Stacey?
Yes, it's Ash Wednesday tomorrow, so today is Throwing Tuesday or Pancake Day.
Stacey, did you have pancake races at school?
I think we had pancake making and different other events around it. Last year at Kindy, we made pancakes and put smiley faces on for the kids, and they enjoyed it.
Excellent.
They loved that. But today, my son actually set his alarm to get up He's put the box of pancakes out of the freezer. He's put 2 plates there, and I think he thinks I'm going to do the rest.
Well, Stacey, we all know what a good cook you are, so maybe he's right. I mean, my kids, I've got to say, speaking of tasty treats, those reindeer-shaped biscuits that you brought into the Central Market on our last show of 2023, they vanished within seconds at our house.
Thank
the
you,
kids
Stacey.
love them. I only got to eat one at the market, and then the rest got demolished at home.
Horrendously creative Stacey is in the kitchen.
Oh, yeah.
So I have no doubt that pancakes today might even feature a smiley face at home.
Another good text here about us being told how to suck eggs when it comes to assembling our kids' lunches. Hey guys, regarding the lunches, what the hell's going on these days? Though I'm past the year of sending kids to school. In my time, God knows what we ate back in the day. But you know what? I'm still alive. My belief is everything in moderation. Parents should be able to put whatever they want in their kids' lunchbox. The health department should remember. Joe says, us wogs introduce continental bread, salami, etc. into our sandwiches. Imagine what Aussies would eat these days if not introduced to those foods. It's a good point, Joe.
Text us 0448 08 1395, or you can jump on the Foodland and YouTube Facebook live stream to leave your comments this morning. Well, thanks to Foodland Supermarkets. But first, let's head to traffic. When the UV is 3 and above, cover up, use sun protection, stay SunSmart, download the SunSmart app.
Thanks, Lucy, and good morning, David. At Croydon, a breakdown on South Road near Port Road affecting outbound. Got works at Windsor Gardens today, a bit sluggish at the moment. St Olds Road near Lagonda Drive. Getting busy at Leeward Gardens for works at Mount Barker Road near the freeway. And slow South Road at Tonsley with some road plates in use there. You'll find cameras Blue Street, Ingle Farm, and Main South Road at Sellex Beach. Make sure you and your car stay cool. Switch and save with an Automasters aircon service. Over 20 branches with paid later options available. Call 1300 Automasters. Adelaide's most accurate traffic on 5AA.
It all started in the back shed. Maybe it started early. Or late. Either way, the Olympic Industries sale means there's no need to wait. With big savings on our entire range of SA-engineered sheds, garages, carports and verandas, you can afford to start something big, tough, or tasty in your own backyard. Start something with the Olympic Industries sale. On now.
Ladies, is the need to wee all the time making your life a misery? Caruso's Wee Less to the rescue. Caruso's Wee Less relieves the annoying and inconvenient feeling that you need to go to the bathroom too often and supports bladder health and function. So if your need to wee all the time is getting in the way of enjoying life, try Caruso's Wee Less today. Caruso's Wee Less is made in Australia, comes with a money-back guarantee and is available from leading pharmacies and health food stores. Always read the label and follow the directions for use.
Now at the Harvey Norman Clearance Centre Marion. TVs, audio, fridges, washers, ovens, cooktops, even the kitchen sink. Have a look today with new stock arriving weekly, and it all comes with manufacturer's warranty. Harvey Norman Clearance Centre, 919 Marion Road, Marion. Run out models, scratch and dent, refurbished stock and new lines. White goods, kitchen and laundry appliances, home entertainment and more. Come see us at the Harvey Norman Clearance Centre. One location, 919 Marion Road, Marion.
Go Vita, your local health food shops. Over 30 years health and wellness experience and over 300 natural health practitioners specialising in you.
Hi, I'm Beck from Go Vita at Monopara. Try NutriVital Prebien Stress and Anxiety 60 tabs, now $29.95, save 40% for those moments when life gets a little too hectic. Always read the label and follow the directions for use.
Go Vita, Colonnades, Fairview Green, Marion, Mount Barker, Monopara, Semaphore and Tanunda.
David Penberthy and Will Goodings. This is 5AA Breakfast.
Before 7am, we will head to the United States to hear from Shane McGuinness from 9 Radio. He attended the Super Bowl 58. But first, let's head to the Bureau of Meteorology. John Fisher's on duty this morning. Morning to you, John.
Good morning, Lucy. Good morning, Dave.
Well, very, very hot day yesterday, John, but hopefully a little bit cooler this week. What are we in for today?
Yeah, that's right. Got up to about 38 degrees yesterday in the city. Certainly was a hot one. Look, we did see a wind change move through later yesterday, but didn't really bring much in the way of cooler conditions overnight. Just brought a bit of humidity, actually. So, look, it's been a pretty warm night here in Adelaide, getting down to around just shy under 22 degrees, which it currently is sitting on now. Interestingly, they're up at Mount Lofty. It's about 26 degrees at the moment. So, look, it is only a very shallow, cool layer. But as we move through the day, we're going to see those southwesterly winds start to pick up behind that change. So we'll keep a lid on those temperatures. So looking at 27 degrees and should be a mostly sunny day. Just a few clouds around at the moment, but should clear up to a mostly sunny day.
And going to be pretty hot again on the weekend by the looks of things, John.
Yeah, that's right. So, look, we're stuck in this fairly dry trend at the moment. It's been pretty much, well, since Australia Day was the last time we had any rain, and none on the way this week. Temperatures, dropping back over the next couple of days, so down to 24 for Wednesday there, and then we start to climb once again, so getting up into the low 30s by Friday, and then looking at around the 33 degree mark for the weekend, and potentially continuing to climb into next week, guys.
John, just a random one for you. I note that we were boiling hot all over the state yesterday, but Hindmarsh Island, is that right? They only got to 23.4 degrees?
Yeah, look, it was a lot cooler around some of those southern coastal areas. Even along the Adelaide coastline here, we did have just some wind change which pushed in and kept conditions fairly mild, well, not mild, but into the low 30s for most of the day, whereas the cities was up in the high 30s. Some of those coastal locations saw that change earlier, so was much cooler.
John Fisher there at the Bureau, thank you. Hindmarsh Island residents would love to hear from you. How did you cope in yesterday's 23 degrees?
Or not cope.
8223
cope with. How bizarre.
Oh, look at 23.4 degrees at 3:44 p.m. was the high on Hindmarsh Island yesterday.
Yeah, right. I spoke to my sister in Strath yesterday, and she said it wasn't really that hot there. That was in the morning, though.
Parafield and the Barossa got to 39.5 and 42 degrees in Port Augusta and Woodner, but 23 at Hindmarsh Island.
I suppose you get the sort of cool sea air coming off the lake down there.
Hindmarsh Island dwellers, please, 8223 0000. Let's head over to SAPOL now. Senior Constable Jen Cullinan's on the line. Now, Jen, a man's been caught breaking into a construction site at Port Noarlunga.
Yes, he has. Good morning. It was about 3:15. Police were called to Waring Street after a member of the public reported seeing somebody enter the construction site. Now, Southern District Patrols attended and found the man with the white van still on the street. And they searched the construction site and found that a portable hut had been broken into and some hardware stolen. They then searched the van and located that hardware along with an amount of cannabis and some drug paraphernalia. So they arrested the 40-year-old man from Moonta Bay. He's been charged with serious criminal trespass, theft and drug offences, and he's going to court in March.
Oh, good pinch. And Jen, also, I think this is the accident we just heard about from one of our listeners, Ange, a crash on the Northern Expressway.
Yeah, we're currently on our way to that crash, and it is apparently causing a bit of traffic chaos for all three lanes that are northbound, so heading towards Bolivar on the north-south motorway. Reports of a vehicle that's crashed into the wall there. Hopefully there's not serious injuries.
Absolutely.
Thank you, Jen.
Cheers, Jen.
We'll keep an eye on that one for sure. We are heading over to America in a moment. Just for those who did watch the Super Bowl and listen to our chat yesterday about the Roman numerals. So it's Super Bowl 58, which is LVIII. Now the Super Bowl has used Roman numerals since Super Bowl V, Super Bowl V, which took place in 1971. The owner of the Chiefs at the time introduced that idea. And then once the Roman numerals were decided upon, the initial 4 games were then changed to reflect the Roman numerals.
Wow.
I mean, 4 of us in the team got it all quite wrong yesterday.
I know. I can't think of too many things. It's always, aside from the Super Bowl, credits at the end of TV shows and movies are in Roman numerals as well. Yep. In the fine print, they often have them there.
Yes, well, that's why they're in fine print, so we don't have to stare too hard at them and get confused.
That's right.
For those who were listening to Tom Wren's segment at 6:20 this morning, he said the final 2 minutes of the game took 17 minutes to play. Now, I set my alarm for a 25-minute nap, right, in the second quarter, and there was 11 minutes to go in the second quarter. After 25 minutes, I woke up. There was still 2 minutes left of the quarter.
It's like flying, isn't it? Where you can actually wake up before something's happened.
I woke up so confused as to how on earth time stood still, but we'll hear it straight from America itself. Shane McInnes for 9 Radio has been over at the Super Bowl. I saw Shane at the tennis a few weeks ago. Now he's jetted off to America. I think he's got one of the best jobs in sporting broadcasting. But Shane, good morning to you. How was being at the Super Bowl yesterday?
Hello, Lucy. Yes, look, it was quite incredible, and yes, it did go for a long time. I think it was about 4.5 hours in the end, once you included overtime. But one of the best matches of football I've ever seen, and given the stadium, given it was Las Vegas, and given all the hype around Taylor Swift, I think it lived up to expectation.
So, Shane, are you lucky enough to have attended a grand final at the MCG?
Yeah, look, yeah, absolutely. And I must say, when it comes to an event, the Super Bowl is probably 20 times that.
Yeah. It makes the AFL look a bit provincial, doesn't it?
It's just the way that the NFL and the Super Bowl takes over the town for the entire week. Super Bowl everywhere you look. The NFL store, it's not just at the ground, it's in every hotel, the Wynn, the Bellagio. Wherever you look, NFL is there. They are the marketing experts. And then, of course, you have the game itself, the halftime entertainment, the pre-game entertainment. Everything is on a larger, grander scale. Even the American flag, before the game when Reba McEntire sang the national anthem, the American flag took up the whole venue. Just little things like that.
Now, Shane, it's only the second time ever in a Super Bowl that has ended in overtime since 1967. How was the crowd when it got to that point? Did they think the Chiefs were going to win? Wait, the Chiefs won, didn't they?
Yeah, they did.
The Chiefs did. The Chiefs did win. Very good. I'll be honest with you. I don't think they were near as vocal as what an Australian crowd would be. They seemed somewhat subdued, and I was actually looking around going, am I understanding this correctly? We are going to overtime, aren't we?
Yeah.
Actually second-guess myself, because they just didn't seem to be as vocal or as parochial as we are, especially at a time like that. But I must admit, when San Francisco had the ball first, it was their game to lose, and they did. When they went for that field goal, I thought, we could be in a bit of strife here, knowing that Patrick Mahomes was going to get the ball in just a moment, and to leave it to one of the greatest quarterbacks of all time to get a touchdown to win the Super Bowl, it was a risky manoeuvre, and unfortunately for San Francisco, it didn't pay off.
Do you reckon, Shane, that, and I must admit, I only watched for about 15 minutes, but I thought the exact same thing, because I watched the end, and I thought that when it went to overtime, and then when the Chiefs won, it wasn't what I'd call deafening, the reaction from the crowd. Do you think that maybe overwhelmingly the people who were there watching weren't actual fans of either side? They were just blow-ins who were cashed up and could afford it? Because how else can you buy a ticket?
I did consider that. But if you look around the stand, it was all red, because both Kansas City and the 49ers are both predominantly red. So that's why I was so surprised. They just even when field goals were scored during the match, and you get 3 points for a field goal, 6 points for a touchdown, there wasn't that vocal adulation of, yes, we've scored 3 points, how good is this?
Yeah.
I just found it a little bit strange, and even like booing and that kind of thing. Certainly the atmosphere, if you were to take an American to an AFL grand final as opposed to what I've done, I think they'd be much more surprised the crowd impact on game day.
Yeah, for sure.
Shane, thank you. Have a great time in the States.
Thanks, Lucy. Back tomorrow.
Thank you there. Shane McInnes from 9 Radio and 3AW in Melbourne. I know. So Shane
just off to the Super Bowl.
At the AO was working for radio during the day, 3AW, then was working for Tennis Australia at night, being a court commentator, MC.
Wow. Because you were working there over summer too.
Yes, I did see Shane in the radio room there. Quick fact about Super Bowl yesterday. Yesterday's Gatorade bath was purple. I know people took bets on silly things, as Jade mentioned, and what shade the Gatorade bath will be at the end. So it was purple, just like it was when the Chiefs won last year. And yesterday's game was broadcast to over 150 countries in every continent except Antarctica. The Penguins not keen on the American football.
Maybe that's why the Penguins keep coming to Adelaide.
A second king penguin has been seen on the Eyre Peninsula, but we will get to that later.
Is it a second one or is it the same one?
Either way, it looked pretty happy to be there. It is 7 o'clock on the dot. We will head into the newsroom with Graham Goodings.
Online, on DAB Digital Radio and on 1395 AM. Talking Adelaide. This is Adelaide's 5AA.
Sunny and 27 today with the 7 o'clock news. Good morning, I'm Graham Goodings.
Chipped windscreen? Complete Windscreens can repair it from just $99. Look for the big red koala.
The federal government says it will not make changes to negative gearing to get its Help to Buy scheme over the line. Under the plan, the government would take a 40% stake in a property to help first home buyers get into the market. The Greens have threatened to derail the scheme, arguing Labor needs to curb negative gearing concessions to address housing supply. Prime Minister Anthony Albanese says that won't be happening.
The Greens only think they're in this position because the coalition are saying they'll vote against Help to Buy. If the coalition actually were capable of doing something other than saying no to everything that's put forward, then the Greens wouldn't be in that position. But if they want to block it, that's a decision for them.
The Defence Force could launch a mass recruitment drive with more people leaving the military than are joining. Gabriel Hodson reports.
During his term as PM, Scott Morrison spoke of an 80,000-strong ADF by 2050, but that won't happen without some serious recruitment. News Corp is reporting that recruitment targets haven't been met for about a decade, and last year only 40% of the required figure was signed up. It says with about 6,400 personnel leaving last year, the ADF is actually shrinking. On top of that, if an enemy army invaded tomorrow, Australia reportedly has enough weapons and munitions to last through just 1 week of intense conflict.
One of the Big Four banks has revealed it saved some of its customers from ticket scammers to the tune of almost $300,000. Gabriel Hodson.
The National Australia Bank has revealed its customers have abandoned $285,000 in payments linked to bogus concert tickets in the last 3 months. NAB says it's a sign that people are stopping and thinking before finalising any bogus sale. The bank says there's been a dramatic rise in calls from customers about scams and fraud. This time last year they were getting about 63,000 calls about scams a month. That's now blown out to 80,000.
Thousands of Toyota models are being recalled due to a potentially fatal defect. Up to 9,000 Toyota Yaris and Yaris Hybrid models built between 2020 and 2023 could have an issue which will cause the steering to fail. People with those models are urged to contact their dealer. Now turning to 5AA traffic.
Order a new roller door from Gliderroll before February 28 and receive a $100 gift voucher. T's and C's apply.
And now here's Tom Wren.
Thank you, Graham. Footy first, and former Adelaide captain Rory Sloane is a good chance to get stuck into some running today as he continues his recovery from eye surgery. The Crows travel to Port Lincoln on Thursday and will hold an internal trial there on Friday, while the Power will also have an internal trial at Alberton on Friday. Let's get to cricket, and Australia will be aiming for a T20 series sweep against the West Indies when the two countries meet in Perth later today. Jake Fraser-McGurk will have another chance to impress, having been called back into the side. Let's go to soccer, and Western Sydney Wanderers coach Marco Rudin believes a toxic culture is pushing coaches out of football in Australia. Rudin is preparing to fight a show cause notice after claiming A-League referees are biased against his club. He says coaches are heavily censored and intensely scrutinised by Football Australia, pointing to Ange Postecoglou as an example.
One of the best coaches that we've ever produced, who's now in the EPL, walked away from the game, and his own reasons for it as well. And they were pretty strong reasons. And maybe that's what the system and the establishment does to you.
Football Australia boss James Johnson will address the media today to address growing criticism of match officials. Meantime, on the World Game, the Matildas have announced a friendly match against Mexico in April to be played in Texas. And there's some matches on this morning. It's an EPL match between Crystal Palace and Chelsea, currently locked at 0-0 about half an hour in. And in some basketball to finish, the Opals have swept Serbia 3-0 in their Olympic basketball qualifiers in Brazil. And that's the 5AA Sport.
Now checking 5AA traffic.
When you cover things, they last longer. Same goes for you. Save your skin. Download the SunSmart app.
Morning there at Dry Creek, crash and car rollover on the north-south motorway near Globe Derby Drive as you're heading outbound. At Croydon, a breakdown, South Road near Port Road affecting citybound. Slow for works at Glenside today, Fullerton Road near Mulberry Road, and busy at Seaford Rise, Main South Road near Bakewell Drive, speeds at 40. Cameras, Kelly Road, Modbury, and Norman Road, Adeltinga Beach. You could be an instant millionaire. Get your Hospital Research Foundation Home Lottery early bird tickets before midnight Friday for your chance to win. homelottery.com.au. Adelaide's most accurate traffic on 5AA.
And now the 5AA forecast.
Stay cool. Service your aircon at Automasters. And keep cool with Cool Now, Pay Later options.
Sunny and 27 today. Tomorrow partly cloudy, 24. 27 Thursday, mostly sunny. Friday sunny and 30. Right now it's 21. More news as it happens on 5AA.
Unlock a world of experiences with Colette and Phil Hoffman Travel. Explore Britain and Ireland, indulge in the flavours of Spain and Portugal, or experience the enchanting landscapes of Central and Eastern Europe on a Colette guided tour. Book now to save up to 15% on all tour styles over the European summer in 2024. Offer ends 26th of February. Contact Phil Hoffman Travel and ask for Colette or visit pht.com.au.
Unit 13's charcoal cheesecake might not have been funny at all. And 32's ironing incident definitely wouldn't have been. Not to mention 6's electric blanket mix-up. But thanks to Safe Fire Electrical, they've had the building in stitches for weeks. A little fire safety can be the difference between a comedy and a tragedy. Keep the little things in order with Safe Fire Electrical, your local fire safety experts. Visit safefire.com.au.
It's Edward from Edwardstown Mazda, South Australia's #1 destination for Mazda. Edwardstown Mazda has a very serious offer. So this is my most serious voice. This month's get savings equal to the on-road costs, plus free servicing on all 2023 plates. T's and C's apply. I'm Edward from Edwardstown Mazda, and I'm being very serious right now.
5AA Breakfast is streaming live right now. To watch, simply head to 5AA on Facebook or YouTube.
David Penberthy and Will Goodings. This is 5AA Breakfast.
7 minutes after 7 o'clock this Tuesday, the 13th of February. Will Goodings is away just for the day. He will be back tomorrow, so it is Lucy and Dave in the chairs till 9 o'clock. And we'd love to hear from you this morning, 8223 0000. You can, of course, jump on the Foodland Supermarkets Facebook and YouTube live stream or text us on 0448 08 1395. We might get to some texts a bit shortly, but we might just cover off some of the news of the morning. And our first story today was brought to us by regular caller Ange. He's been out and about on the road and he saw this incident, about 25 minutes ago.
There's a bit of a nasty accident on the Northern Expressway just past the Port Adelaide turnoff, but heading towards Port Wakefield. There's a car on its roof. People are trying to get the driver out at the moment. So the traffic's at a standstill at the moment, guys.
That was a good cut by Sam with our sound effects in it as well.
Yeah, it's SAPOL on their way. Well, they were on their way when we caught up with Senior Constable Jen Cullen, and so we'll keep an eye on that. It sounds potentially quite bad.
SAPOL tweeted just under 10 minutes ago saying that all 3 lanes of northbound traffic are affected off the Port River Expressway. So please be mindful if you are in the area. If you are stuck in that, 8223 0000. Would love to hear what's caught you up this morning. Let's move on to some perhaps surprising news given how hot this weather has been. But we are currently experiencing a surge in flu cases. Now, typically we associate the flu with winter or a change of season, but currently this summer, some GPs are bracing for high numbers as the weather, it's yet to cool off, but surely it is set to soon. So far this year we've had 802 cases of influenza. Is that right, Sam? So far in 2024, in 6 weeks, we have had 802 cases of the flu.
I reckon that gels with, just talking to mum and dad and, family. There's a lot of stuff going around.
So for context, at the same time last year, so 6 weeks into 2023, we only had 294 cases. In 2019, we had 700, just before COVID hit, of course. But GPs are saying that perhaps post-COVID, immune systems may have forgotten the flu, so it's potentially easier to catch.
Well, the other thing, though, is this time 2 years ago, many more people were still wearing masks. Many more people on arriving at the supermarket were using hand sanitizer as a matter of course, and a lot of places were still practicing social distancing. So it doesn't matter what the illness is, if you do less of that, there's going to be more of this kicking around, is there not?
At Melbourne Airport...
I'm no immunologist, but that would make sense, wouldn't it?
When I flew back from the AO a few weeks ago, I went to use some sanitizer before I ate my lunch. There were none of the foodie counters, none of just, where they put the bins and you leave your trays and plates and stuff.
You've been eating hundreds and thousands just to make things even worse, Lisa.
I was not, but there was no sanitizer. Even in the food court of Melbourne Airport, I was stunned. I had to, thankfully, the guy next to me had some spare and I used some, but it just shocked me that they are now getting rid of the supply that's usually just sitting on the desk. Anyway.
It's funny, isn't it?
Here is Dr. Rod Pearce, GP. He was on 7 News last night.
The good thing is we're travelling. The bad thing about that is that it means more people are going to catch the flu. There's a huge risk to all of us. The only proven way we've got of reducing your severity is a vaccine.
Yeah, I mean, people are tired of hearing, though, get vaccinated. Yeah. Especially for something like the flu. I'll admit I haven't had the flu jab in over 10 years. That's out of pure laziness. But thankfully I haven't caught the flu. But each to their own.
It's worth doing. I mean, I think when you get to a certain age, I'm probably there. You should do it.
Yeah.
Because it can knock you around. I mean, it kills people.
That's right.
Kills hundreds and hundreds of people. So, yeah, you're still...
don't say young and sprightly, because
I
don't feel it.
Well, you're in the wrong line of work, Lisa.
I know. But
feeling sprightly.
But perhaps with this, some 800 cases of the flu already this year, perhaps this year is the year for the flu jab.
Yes.
We put the call out for people stuck in traffic on the north-south motorway. Katrina, are you stuck in that traffic?
I am southbound and we are down to a crawl.
How long have you been stuck in it, Katrina?
It's from Bolivar exit to I've been sitting here for about 5 or 6 minutes and I've travelled, be lucky if I've travelled a kilometre.
Gosh, okay. Is there an exit coming up that you can take and go the long route?
There is no exit from Bolivar to Port River Express.
Yeah, you're going to be there for a while, Katrina. We'll try to keep you entertained and you try to not get too annoyed by it. It sounds like it is potentially quite a serious crash, so you're not going to be on your Pat Malone there, being stuck.
Katrina, give us a call back eventually when you get out of it. That might help other commuters. Some other news that came out yesterday on the immigration detainees that we heard about at the end of last year. So it was mid-November. A High Court decision resulted in over 100 detainees released back into the Australian community. There was actually 149. A lot of them we heard had checkered pasts. Was checkered. Oh yes, we'll reveal all shortly. There was a period that it was one after the other we heard were getting arrested for various misdemeanours. Here is Shadow Home Affairs Minister James Patterson on Sky News.
This cohort of 149 people who the government released into the community following the High Court's decision, and among them 18 of them have been charged already with state and territory offences. 6 of them have transgressed their requirements under their visas. So 24 of them have reoffended in the community and not one of them has been locked up under the preventive detention scheme.
Right, so none of the 18 who have offended since being in our community have gone back to immigration detention, but it's my understanding there are a few who are probably likely just in ordinary prison. Here is the exact stats. Of the 149, there are 7 murderers, 37 sex offenders, 72 violent criminals, 16 domestic violence offenders and 13 drug traffickers.
It's unbelievable. Now, I think, not going to let the government off the hook because I'm going to have a crack at them shortly, but the High Court has to take some responsibility for this. The slapdash cavalier way in which they brought down the judgment, which meant that the government had no constitutional authority to keep these people indefinitely detained, was all care and no responsibility. I mean, they're smart people. They've got, probably masters, PhDs in the law, years of practice, to just drop the judgment the way they did was the mother of all hospital passes for the government. But having said that, the thing that I find amazing is that the government still hasn't even filed an application to put these people under any kind of surveillance, because there's still the Department of Home Affairs General Counsel, Claire Sharp, she appeared before a Senate committee yesterday, and this was her quote, "We've not filed an application yet, we're continuing to compile the evidence." Well, this is getting on for 4 or 5 months ago. Like, it's just unbelievable. And these scumbags are running around, you know, a lot of them running around in the community. We know what happened here in Adelaide's northern suburbs to that poor woman.
Yes, one of those detainees is one of the 24 that have offended since being let out in our community.
It's just shocking.
What evidence are they trying to gather? Sorry, have I missed what...
That woman as well, the victim, she's like, this is what I don't understand with the sort of do-gooder mentality about, oh, you know, it's terrible how these people are being kept in detention forever. And it's like, well, okay, we know that other countries don't do it. We know that we're out of step in a legal sense with other comparable nations, so we did have to sort it out. But when you see the immediate result is that one of these scumbags gets out and does the exact same thing again, he's got a long history of sex offending, where's the sympathy for the minimum wage cleaner who's on the receiving end of this guy's base behaviour? It's just warped. You know, no one seems to be crying tears for her, but there's plenty of hands across Australia for the asylum seeker types, regardless of, you know, how many major felonies they appear to have committed.
Ridiculous, isn't it?
It is ridiculous.
Sex offences, murder, violence, domestic violence, drug trafficking, all citizens we don't want here.
Yeah, but that's the key, though. The issue in a legal sense is they're not citizens of anywhere. So you can't deport them to anywhere. And then it becomes a case of, well, you know, if they're hamstrung by that, we can't just keep them locked up forever. So, but you know, for the court to just lob that and the government's lap and go, there you go.
Good luck.
Was derelict.
A bit later in the show, we are chatting with a workplace expert after Santos yesterday revealed they are making formal the 9-day fortnight. They had a successful trial last year, and now they are permanently implementing a 9-day fortnightly roster for its Australian-based staff. Santos wasn't keen to come on this morning, but they are definitely confident that it is going to work. It's going to be called Flex Friday. Non-rostered employees will work at least 0.8 full-time work. They can take designated Fridays off work. Here is Kim Lee from Santos on 9 News last night.
We've been able to use Flex Friday as part of the attraction and retention strategy. Obviously, it has a positive impact on wellbeing for the business. We're able to maintain productivity. You know, operational performance wasn't impacted. So all in all, it was a win-win.
So they're doing the full 10 days worth of work within 9 days. They'll still be getting paid the same. The workplace expectation is still the same, but they can have these Flex Fridays once a fortnight.
I reckon if they're going to do it, that's the way to do it, where there's no loss in productivity. And conversely, people don't lose any money because, you know, these days, the idea of taking a 10% pay cut in order to have 1 day off a fortnight is just financially untenable for people, being as stretched as they are. I tell you where it's really interesting, and these figures confirm. Actually, it was a Breaking at 8 we did about 6 months ago, where we dug out some stuff from the Canberra bureaucracy, where they're talking about getting rid of buildings. Like, do we actually need to construct or lease office space anymore with the rate at which people are working from home? This is just remarkable. More than 70% of the public servants in the Department of Employment and Workplace Relations have disconnected from the office and are now working remotely. In health and aged care, it's 80%. Veterans Affairs, 72%. Industry, Science and Resources, 71%. Climate Change, Energy, the Environment and Water, 70%. So close to 4/5 of the Canberra bureaucracy is now on the couch. Incredible, isn't it?
Coming up to 20 minutes after 7. Up shortly, we are chatting with famed Adelaide ice hockey player Greg Oddie. We're revisiting our ice arena chat. He's calling for the old works there at Theberton to not exist anymore. He spends a lot of time there. We'll be chatting with Greg shortly. But first, let's get to your traffic. When the UV is 3 and above, cover up, use sun protection, stay SunSmart. Download the SunSmart app.
Thanks, Lucy. At Dry Creek, crash and car rollover on the north-south motorway near Globe Derby Drive as you're heading outbound. Delays in both directions there. Croydon, a breakdown South Road near Port Road affecting city-bound. Busy at Windsor Gardens for works at Olds Road near Lagonda Drive and getting slow South Road at Theberton. Cameras, Aldinga Road, Wollonga and Ballou Street at Engle Farm. Get your GYG-approved crispy chicken tender curry burrito, free-range Lilydale chicken breast tenders, Chipotle seasoned fries, sour cream, jack cheese and guac, only at Guzmani Gomez. Adelaide's most accurate traffic on 5AA.
5AA Mornings with Matthew Pantelis.
The entertainment nighttime economy just falling away with a number of businesses closing. Frank Pangello, good morning.
There are all these pop-up stores around Adelaide and they are selling illegal cigarettes on the black market. Guess what? Alcohol will be next.
Weekday mornings from 9.
It won't be long before we need a squad of untouchables to crack down on tobacco and alcohol racketeers.
On 1395, Adelaide's 5AA.
Hi, I'm Lynn Andrews. For over 50 years we, the Lynn Andrews team, have specialised in commercial and residential property management. But above all, we specialise in people, helping to make life easier for investors and tenants. Everyone is treated with empathy and respect. It's the way we do business. It's the Lynn Andrews way. For residential and commercial property management, we're here to help you. Visit lynnandrews.com.au.
You could be a millionaire next week. The countdown is on. You have just 3 days to get your tickets in the Hospital Research Foundation Home Lottery for your chance to win the $1 million early bird prize. Don't miss your chance to pocket a life-changing $1 million. Plus, your tickets stay in to win the Scott Salisbury Grand Prize home at Henley Beach. Life-changing prizes, life-changing impact. homelottery.com.au. Licence M14493.
It's Ian Healy, and I'm here to talk to you about back pain and Keezer. If you're one of the 80% of Australians who suffer from back pain, it's tempting to do nothing. But this can cause weaknesses down the road. The best place to start with back pain is exercise, and the best place to exercise is Keezer. Keezer's physios and Swiss-designed strength training equipment help you build strength in a supervised environment. I go to Keezer and you can too at our new clinic in Norwood. Book your initial assessment at keezer.com.au.
Are you ready for something huge? It's an offer that is unrivaled, unsurpassable, unforgettable. Mawson Lakes Mazda is giving you 3 days, just 3 days to walk in and drive out in your dream Mazda. All makes, all models, all colours, all ready to drive away. This Thursday, Friday and Saturday only. Do not miss this. Mawson Lakes Mazda's unprecedented 3-day sale. Thursday to Saturday, Salisbury Highway, just a short drive from the city.
Rosanna Mangiarelli here from 7 News. Join me and Will Goodings for Adelaide's leading news hour, 7 News, tonight at 6 o'clock.
David Penberthy and Will Goodings, 5AA Breakfast.
23 minutes after 7, Will Goodings back on deck. Tomorrow we chatted yesterday, David, about the ice arena, the shocking carbon monoxide poisoning incident that saw nearly 50 people in the women's and children's. I note that a substantial number of those have now been released, thankfully, and no true harm was done to those sufferers, I guess
the
you call them.
description that some of them provided, though, of what they went through, they said they felt like they were drinking petrol and their throats were burning. It sounds like a genuinely horrible experience, and as we said yesterday, lucky that they sort of twigged to it as early as they did, because you know, if the percentage of carbon monoxide in the air was much higher, who knows how this might have ended up.
Could have been dire. Well, someone who knows a lot about the Theberton Ice Arena is Greg Oddie. Welcome to the studio, Greg.
No, thanks for having me. It's great to be here.
Oh, Greg, no, it's good to see you. So you played ice hockey. You've retired now, but you played for donkey's years. You must know the ice arena like the back of your hand.
I do. I pretty much know every part of that ice arena. You know, I've been there since I was 5 years old, and played a big part of my life. Just going there day in, day out.
Were you surprised to hear that this had happened, or do you think that perhaps it's sort of been an accident waiting to happen.
I guess a surprise, the poisoning, that's not something you expect, right? Maybe expect someone falling through a hole or something, or, part of the car park collapsing or something. But kids getting poisoned, no, probably not what I expected. But, there's been some people that have gone there over the last few weeks that have sensed something wasn't quite right, just with the smells and that. So, to wake up Sunday and hear about this, it is quite disturbing, right?
Well, there's a Safe Work SA investigation underway into it now, and we probably shouldn't preempt that. But more broadly, do you have concerns about the facility?
Oh, definitely. I mean, there's so much of that facility that there's so many issues there, and so that's just the tip of the iceberg, right? It's just there's no future in that arena. There's everything's worn away. The corrosion, the slab sinking. I don't know if you've been underneath, but people are scared to park in the car park. You've got half a ski slope still above the arena. There's just the ventilation in there that, where there is none.
I've got to say, I was there at a kid's birthday party last year, and it looks like it's seen better days, to put it politely.
Yeah, it has. Oh, definitely. Yeah, I mean that place, it used to be maintained, and again, it's been there for probably 40 years. So there's probably a combination of maintenance and also just old age.
Yeah, and the ability to. How many funds they've got lying around to actually do any sort of upgrades or anything like that.
Yeah, and there has been money spent. I know there's been people throw a bit of money into it, but I think they all say the same thing, is that they wish they hadn't, because it just hasn't really achieved anything, and that's why, like when government talks about throwing more money into it, it's probably not worth it.
Greg, in your time, you've recently retired, you said, but even in the last sort of 5 or 6 years, did you notice these cracks forming before that?
Oh, it's funny, I was talking about this yesterday. Like hockey players, we're not very smart, right?
Hang on.
We're not very smart at all. So when you play hockey, all you care about is playing hockey, right? You don't, the other stuff you don't worry about, like the grandstands, the Zamboni and stuff like that. Like none of that really. All you care about is going to the rink and playing hockey. There would have been hockey players probably lining up Sunday morning to go. Take advantage of some, free ice time, right?
Yeah.
When this was all happening, because all you want to do as a hockey player is play hockey.
Well, they were there yesterday at 5:30 as well.
There you go.
Yeah.
It's probably more the general public, right? And the birthday parties that will probably, you're going to probably think twice about, heading along there right now. But I think hockey players, figure skaters, probably business as usual.
What do you hope to see for the future of ice hockey in Adelaide?
Well, there needs to be a new facility. I think, 100% needs to be a new facility. That place, I wouldn't be re-signing that lease. There's no future in it. I think there needs to be a central facility. I think it needs to be government, sport and rec, and I think there's an opportunity to go down. Now's a good timing too. The demand's really strong, and I think there's an opportunity to kind of end this whole thing and put it to bed so everyone can move forward.
Start fresh.
Well, there's just been so many issues over the last 10 years. You think of how many times it shut down, how many times. What about the things we haven't heard about either? Which I've heard about a few of them, but there's a lot of stuff that people haven't heard about that's happened.
Yeah.
But there's just no future in that arena.
The carbon monoxide poisoning, is that by far the worst thing that's happened over the last few years for it, or are things such as day-to-day safety that aren't out of the ordinary, like condition of the ice, condition of the railings, etc.?
Oh, again, I don't know where to start. I know there was free on gas leaks. There was remember change rooms, we used to get moved around quite a bit, from week to week, depending on, what was happening, downstairs, just, from fire exits or lack of fire exits to, ventilation to gas leaks to, again, if you go to if you look in the car park underneath the arena, it's quite scary, right? You wouldn't park your car under there. It's I recommend when the wife came to watch, I always said park on the road.
Mm-hmm.
And again, you've got half a ski slope that hasn't been taken down that just sits, right up the top there with, pigeons living there. And
the old tobogganing field.
Yeah, the old tobogganing, which brought so much joy, right?
If the problems are as profound as you're suggesting they are, it might be a good time for Safe Work to be in there having a root and branch look at the place. Greg, thank you so much for coming in. And it's a story that we'll follow with interest now that the inquiry's up and running. Good on you, mate.
Excellent. Thanks for having me.
Thank you, Greg. And for more sport tonight, you can tune in from 4 p.m. with Rowie and Timmy G. For a great meal, you're on a winner at the Excelsior Hotel. You just know it's a Barrow Hotel.
At Keaton, we understand that like a fine wine, life continues to get better with age. Join us for a series of events where you'll be inspired to connect, learn and thrive in retirement as we celebrate it as a time for creativity, exploration and self-discovery. So come live a little, sip and socialise with friends as you experience the joy of retirement living at a Keaton village near you. Visit keatonevents.com.au to find out more and RSVP today.
It's Edward from Edwardstown Mazda, and this is my most serious voice. Because Edwardstown Mazda has a very serious offer on BT50s. Yep, this month you'll get savings equal to the on-road costs. Free servicing on all 2023 plates, plus accessory packages. T&C supply. Go on, buy a BT50, you good-looking rooster. I'm Edward from Edwardstown Mazda.
This is Adelaide's FIVEAA.
Sunny and 27 today with the 7:30 news. I'm Graham Goodings.
From chips to replacements, make Complete Windscreens your insurer repairer of choice. CompleteWindscreens.com.au.
One of our big banks is scrapping over-the-counter deposits and withdrawals. ANZ has begun scaling back the in-person service at branches across Sydney, with all sites expected to cease offering the service next month. National Senator Matt Canavan says he'll push to see the matter investigated by the ongoing inquiry into bank branch closures.
We're looking at possible hearing somewhere in a city where I think we need to take this up and get the real answers. The Senate can demand these answers about how many branches are shutting and about how many of these branches aren't taking cash deposits. So we'll take that up for you. If they won't tell you, I'll have to come to the Parliament.
More than 1 million welfare claims are yet to be processed through Services Australia. The agency takes charge of Centrelink, Medicare and child support. Its new boss is hoping to slash the number of claims by 60% by the middle of the year. The Australian Defence Force has revealed it's losing more people than it's recruiting, as the nation faces its most challenging security outlook in 80 years. Military numbers are down to 57,000, just 40% of a target set by the Morrison government. Independent Senator Jackie Lambie has told Today leadership issues are to blame for the dwindling numbers.
It is called the top echelon of your military. That is why they are leaving, and they're not joining because those people that are leaving are going out to Australians saying don't join until it's fixed. If that doesn't tell you don't have a problem with the leadership in our military and that people do not want them there, I don't know what is.
A $700 million scheme is being set up to help create thousands of jobs in remote Indigenous communities across Australia. The federal government says the program will reduce the reliance on fly-in, fly-out workers. People employed under the Remote Job Scheme will receive super and long service leave. Leading Indigenous rights advocate Catherine Little says it's a huge step forward.
In remote communities, there aren't jobs, and there certainly haven't been jobs for Aboriginal and Torres Strait Islander people. So the ability to have jobs that are designed by the communities, that match what the communities need, will be a real game changer.
Taylor Swift may not be coming to SA, but that isn't stopping ticket scammers. Anyone looking for last-minute tickets to her Australian tour, kicking off this Friday in Melbourne, is advised to be cautious of fakes online. Scammers have already pocketed $135,000 from fans, with $2,500 of that reported locally. Ticketek Marketplace is the only authorised reseller. South Australians are loved up ahead of February 14. 18 million parcels are expected to be delivered for Valentine's Day this year, according to Australia Post. That's up 7% on last year. Now turning to FIVEAA Sport.
Order a new roller door from Glider Roll before February 28 and receive a $100 gift voucher. T's and C's apply.
And now here's Tom Wren.
Thank you, Graham. Footy first, and Port Adelaide midfielder Jason Horne-Francis is set to address the media ahead of the Power's internal trial on Friday at Alberton. Getting ready for his third year, Horne-Francis has enjoyed a great pre-season so far, having barely missed a beat. Meantime, Gold Coast co-captain Tuke Miller admits the arrival of new coach Damien Hardwick has been incredibly refreshing for the young, talented group.
He just came in, kind of took the bulls by the horn and just literally went after it. He was just like, this is what we do, this is how we play. I know what your strengths are. I mean, he talked to each individual, had a conversation at the back end of last season, exit reviews, just to get a bit of a feel for how you see yourself, how he sees you. And I think that kind of flowed into our pre-season. I think it's been fantastic.
Yeah, the Suns have a very real chance of playing finals for the first time in Hardwick's first season in charge. To cricket, Josh Hazlewood is skipping Australia's final T20 match against the West Indies in Perth tonight. The fast bowler has returned home to prepare for the upcoming Test tour of New Zealand. Redbacks Jake Fraser-McGurk and Wes Agar have been added to the squad to provide cover. Australia holds an unassailable 2-0 lead over the Windies. And one game in the English Premier League this morning, and Crystal Palace has a 1-0 lead heading into the second half against Chelsea. And that goal was an absolute screamer from outside the box.
And Lerner's got it, and he can have a crack this time. Oh! Wow! You've just seen something very, very special.
Yeah, that was a gorgeous goal. That audio there, thanks to Fox and Graham. That is the 5AA Sport.
Thanks, Tom. Now checking 5AA traffic.
When you cover things, they last longer. Same goes for you. Save your skin. Download the SunSmart app.
At Dry Creek, crash and car roll over on the north-south motorway near Globe Derby Drive as you're heading outbound. Heavy lanes in both directions there. Try using Port Wakefield Road instead. At Croydon, a breakdown South Road near Port Road affecting city-bound, and slow for works at Windsor Gardens at Olds Road near Lagonda Drive. You find cameras this morning, Blacks Road, Gillis Plains and Kelly Road at Modbury. Spice up your Valentine's Day at Sexyland with Australia's largest range of adult toys, costumes, gifts and games. Visit in-store or shop 2-hour delivery at sexyland.com.au. Adelaide's most accurate traffic on 5AA.
And now the 5AA forecast.
Stay cool. Service your aircon at Automasters. And keep cool with Cool Now, Pay Later options.
Sunny and 27 today. Tomorrow a little cooler, partly cloudy 24. Thursday mostly sunny 27. Warming up Friday, sunny and 30. Right now it's 22. More news as it happens on 5AA.
For over 3 decades, Regent Homes has been synonymous with crafting architecturally bespoke homes, each one a testament to Regent Homes' unwavering commitment to design, quality and sophistication. And because Regent Homes is a South Australian family-owned company, they understand more than anyone what it takes to build a family home. Experience Regent Homes' award-winning display homes at Lightsview and Blackwood Park. Innovative design, elevated living. Visit regenthomes.com.au.
Now, if you're looking for curtains, blinds or awnings, explore all the possibilities at Rundle Blinds and Curtains, Adelaide's premier window furnishings company at Kings Park.
Call Rundle Blinds and Curtains or drop in to find out about incredible February 2024 special offers, including double Qantas points on the entire Luxaflex collection. Yes, that's right, double Qantas points on the entire Luxaflex collection.
It's the perfect way to rack up some serious Qantas points and also get quality blinds, curtains and awnings to improve the look, comfort and feel of your home.
So don't wait. Head into the Rundle Blinds Kings Park showroom. Call them on 8274 1210. That's 8274 1210. Or go online at rundleblinds.com.au.
5AA Breakfast is streaming live right now. To watch, simply head to 5AA on Facebook or YouTube.
David Penberthy and Will Goodings. 5AA Breakfast.
7:37 on this lovely, lovely Tuesday morning. Just a gentle reminder for those who celebrate Valentine's Day with your loved ones. That is tomorrow. So florists everywhere are expecting to have a pretty big day today, getting all the orders ready. David, you've
Luce has declared Valentine's Day dead.
Not dead, but I just think if you're with someone that you love, you celebrate them all the time and celebrate other things like birthdays, Christmas, Easter.
So what you're saying, Luce, is every day should be Valentine's Day.
Well, no, not really, because then you don't need to be showered in gifts every day of the year. You just end up with so much stuff and it's a bit materialistic. Maybe I'm just a bit cynical.
Buying flowers is a good thing to do, isn't it? And
flowers
too
are
many
lovely.
blokes do it to get themselves out of strife or when they're on the make. You know, they should just do it
just lovely
naturally,
flowers.
Spontaneously, and not need an annual commercially driven reminder to do it.
Absolutely.
A bunch of flowers in the house always makes it makes the house feel extra special.
It does, but if you're buying lilies that open up with the little orange stamens and pollens, that pollen is toxic to cats and dogs. It can be fatal. So if you're buying lilies and you've got a pet, take out the stamens.
They also do a number on your clothes because a lot of the stamens are
It
actually
stain-
used to make dye.
Yeah, it stains your clothes and can
You
kill
can't
your
get it
cats
out.
and dogs.
It can
Yes.
also stain your furniture.
Yes, there's our flower
There you
tip
go.
for the day. We welcome all flower tips this morning, 8223 0000 for our keen gardeners out there. Coming up in this half of the show, we will be chatting to Phil Curry very, very shortly. Then we have a jury to convene, and it will be a timely, topical FIVEAA favourite type jury. We will reveal all shortly. And after 8 o'clock this morning, we will be giving away some Fringe tickets to Gluttony and also chat to a workplace expert about this 9-day fortnight. But of course, we were just talking in the last half hour about the 149 immigration detainees that were let loose in the Australian community. A bunch of them have had really sordid past. To tell us more, Phil Curry, the political editor of the Oz Financial Review's on the line. Morning to you, Phil.
Hi, Lucy. Hi, Dave. How are you?
We're good, thanks, Phil. So this issue, yet again, has come back to plague the government. In Senate estimates yesterday, the head of Homeland Security was being grilled about it. Does it look like the government's been a little bit flat-footed with its response in your mind, Phil?
Yeah, look, we were a bit surprised because if you remember last year, pardon me, when the High Court made that decision and the Albanese government had a terrible 3 or 4 weeks trying to respond to it. And what emerged, and then at the end of the year, remember they rushed through those laws through Parliament, which would enable them to put the worst of these offenders back behind bars using preventative detention orders, like they already have those powers for people who they think is a terrorist threat. So they sort of, got their act together into the last year and have these laws in place, and we're going to be tough and get act quickly. And then it emerged yesterday that the full details of who'd been released, but not a single application had yet been made for a preventative detention order. Now, the excuse from the government was that they'd set up this committee to advise them, and the committee was still, the committee was still, and look, there has to be a process with this, obviously, and it's a legal thing. You've got to make applications to the Supreme Courts in each of the states where these people live, and you can't sort of do it in a week or something. But nonetheless, the fact that not a single application had yet been lodged in, a couple of months since it all blew up, it just looked like they'd sort of fallen back asleep again, or just surrendered to process rather than urgency. So it was a bit of a free hit for the coalition yesterday, for sure.
Absolutely. Now, Phil, getting politicians to rule things in or out is one of the oldest sort of manoeuvres in the journo and opposition playbook. But just in terms of negative gearing, Jim Chalmers tried to knock it on the head on Sunday, and then Albo said some stuff about how it's not on the agenda yesterday. Do you think Labor... I mean, firstly, do you reckon it is officially dead? Or do you think that they might, particularly with Adam Bant, with his little to-do list that he's drawn up now after the Stage 3 deal...
Well, this is the problem you make when you break such a significant promise as Stage 3. It's like your rest of your promises now come with a big fat asterisk over them, and it also empowers. I mean, the Greens look. Albanese's not going to touch negative gearing or capital gains tax exemptions on investment properties, not this side of the election. If you speak to people in Labor, they realise they sort of got away with it, on Stage 3.
Yeah, well, they did.
Yeah, plus don't forget they break a pretty big promise on superannuation tax increases in their first year when they went after the high value accounts. So they've sort of they accept they've pushed it as far as they another one might they may not get away with it. So any changes they do, Dave, they will have to take to the election. And I reckon they're probably more likely to go after trusts before they do negative gearing or anything like that.
But they'd need a mandate, wouldn't they? I mean,
you'd have to have whatever they do next. They'll need a mandate. But the trouble is, as you said, there's just it's like sort of when trust goes out of a marriage. It's there's always that little seed of doubt now. And between voters and the government. So when the Greens stand up and say, well, look, you might have promised not to touch negative gearing, but you said that on Stage 3, and now you say the circumstances have changed. Well, the circumstances have changed with housing, the housing crisis. So, why don't you just break your promise on negative gearing as well? And this is the sort of, they'll just get this all the way between now and the election. And, this is what I was sort of saying a couple of weeks ago. The tax cut has worked very well for them in terms of, a lot more people are happy with it than unhappy with what they did. But that there's the separate issue of integrity now, and that I think will sort of hang around like a bad smell. And what the net effect of all that is, I have no idea. But I can definitely say they're not going to do anything this side of the election without seeking a mandate.
I know a few times, Phil, you and I have spoken off air, and you've talked about the sort of feedback we get from our listeners at 5AA on things like The Voice and what have you. And it's funny because, like, last week, the texts were split between people saying, I don't care that he broke the promise. The policy was always stupid and unaffordable, and the people who are doing it toughest are the lower and middle income earners, and the changes don't mean a tax increase for the rich. They just mean they get less of a saving. So a lot of people said that.
Yeah.
But a lot of other people said, well, personally, I'm going to be better off under this, so I'm happy about that, but I still reckon Albo's lied. And it makes me look at him and go, well, what else is he going to lie about?
Yeah, I'll take your tax cut, but you're still a liar. Exactly.
Yeah, that's right. Exactly.
So and you know, as I said, this. Yeah, and this place moves so quickly, Dave. You know, and I think we're sort of already moving past the tax code, but the spect of that lie just does tend to sort of hang around, and that's what I mean. There'll be some people who'll just be uncertain, and because I heard someone, you say, one of the left-wing economists who sort of pushes these things on the greens and stuff, saying not only should we get rid of negative gearing and capital gains tax, but it should be retrospective. Now that's not going to happen. That would just be so you just couldn't do it. But
how can the Greens complain about the lack of housing stock and want to get rid of negative gearing at the same time?
Well, that's right. This is the other argument. If you're going after this on a housing basis, it'd make more sense to get rid of the CGT deduction. So if you own a house and you sell it after a year, it's an investment property, and you hold it for more than 12 months and you sell it. Normally you'd pay capital gains tax equivalent to your top marginal tax rate, but John Howard halved that, back in 1999, and that was what really caused the trouble, if you like. That's what really sort of, working in concert with negative gearing, that did create a problem of affordability. It made housing a wealth, a thing people just bought to accumulate wealth rather than a necessity. So most economists you speak to say just chop back the capital gains tax deduction, leave negative gearing alone. I mean, you can cap negative gearing maybe at 2 properties or something. You probably, I think 90-something% of people only have one. And, it's a legitimate investment, and it is, as the Prime Minister said, it is a supply issue. People buy investment homes and rent them. That creates rental properties. If you drove everyone out of negative gearing, I think you'd have a bit of a rental crisis pretty quick, smart. So,
100%.
So anyway, but it swirls around. But as I said, the only reason we're talking about this is because the PM broke his promise on stage 3. And this is, I guess, one of the consequences now.
Yeah, absolutely. Cracking analysis as always, Phil. Yeah, on fire. We'll catch up soon, mate.
Okay, bye.
The National Political Editor of the Fin Review.
Phil Curry there.
It's always good to work with someone who's across the detail. I like working with Phil. All those big reports would come in and I'd say, Phil, this one's got your name all over it. It's a 764-page productivity commission report about the future of the textile, clothing and footwear industry. You have a bit of a wade through that, and I'll write a punchy 25-centimetre comment piece.
You're just
we'll
sharing the workload love.
Absolutely.
Your version of the 9-day fortnight.
Yeah, Phil's the detail guy.
Just before we get to our jury this morning, just want to reiterate that crash on the North-South motorway in Dry Creek. Police and emergency services are there. It was about an hour ago that Ange called up with a single-car rollover. All 3 lanes of northbound traffic are affected north of the Port River Expressway. Traffic is blocked. Traffic delays currently sitting, if you're trying to head northbound on that motorway, sitting at about 15 minutes at least. So please, if you are stuck in those traffic delays, 8223 would love to know what you're seeing out there, how long you've been sitting there, or if it's starting to be cleared up. You are our eyes and ears on the road. A couple of texts, Dave, have also come in on the detainee situation. You can text us all morning, of course, thanks to Dutton's. Big 10 Ford, GWM, Haval, Hyundai, Isuzu, Ute, Mazda, Mitsubishi, Nissan, Ram, Subaru and Volkswagen. Dutton's easy to do business with.
Someone's texted in saying, and I've got to say, that they are completely in step with the tenor of public opinion about it yesterday on the Advertiser's article, where overwhelmingly the comments were negative about the fact that Her Excellency, the Governor, has received a very generous pay rise. This one here, hearing of the Governor's $85,000 pay rise, which is $140,000 over 2 years, has absolutely appalled me. In a climate where essential workers can't get a rise with inflation, this kind of rise is offensive. This is a hard argument to make out. I'd say 2 things about the Governor. One is she's one of the hardest working people in South Australia, and she works harder than most MPs by the length of the straight. Like, if you look at her schedule, it is
Hectic.
crazy. Like,
She's currently in the southeast.
yeah, she gets around. She does a lot of charitable work that is of huge value. And when I've attended things there, like the Catherine House domestic violence thing, it's run like a military operation, because those events go for like 1 hour or 90 minutes. And then the reason they trundle you out is because there's other people waiting to come in. Like, I think she would probably do 10 different things a day, which, particularly thinking about our friends in the upper house, that would be more than a lot of politicians would do in a fortnight. And the other thing is and like, I'm not saying it's not a vast amount of money, and that in a percentage sense, it is a very big pay rise. But the reason she got that pay rise is that the SA governor, for some weird reason, was paid about 20% less than every other governor in the country, including Tasmania. So it's catch up, but I get why people like that texter and others in the current climate go, yikes. But I don't know, if we're going to bag people, let's bag people who are demonstrably bludgers, not people who have got a good heart, are very community-minded, and work like navvies doing good things.
In the criminal justice system, all defendants are innocent until proven guilty, either by confession, plea bargain, or trial by jury. This is one of those trials.
We had the debate yesterday, given Taylor Swift's appearance in every single part of the Super Bowl, mentioned in media across the world. She's been on our screens, on the FM radios, all across Spotify. She's everywhere at the moment now. Taylor Swift, according to this one article, she was on the TV broadcast of the Super Bowl in total for all of 55 seconds. The broadcast itself, that went for obviously over 4.5 hours, given the game was itself 4 hours, 18 minutes. Taylor Swift was on screen for this specific broadcast article 55 seconds. Now, Taylor Swift, famed, of course, for David, your favourite song. 'Cause the players gonna play.
Song.
Since you've admitted it on air countless times.
That is a great song. That is a great song.
Now, our jury today, though, David, 8223 0000. If you would like to be a part of our jury, one lucky juror will receive a $100 unique Homestyle Foods voucher. You cannot get better than that. So one lucky juror, the rest of you will get some FIVEAA mugs. But our jury today...
It goes to the question of Taylor Swift fatigue.
Yes. Now,
are we over Taylor Swift?
Part of me thinks it's nearly too early to have this argument because she's about to land in Australia.
Well, if you're over an hour, just brace yourself for the next fortnight, because you're going to be hearing not so much on 5AA, but everywhere else.
That's
it's
right.
Just going to be wall-to-wall Taylor.
So Taylor Swift, tay yay or tay nay?
Tay-tay yay-yay or tay-tay nay-nay?
8223 0000. Please call in to be part of our jury this morning. We'd love to hear your thoughts. Now, just remember, she was only on screen for 55 seconds out of the entirety of the Super Bowl. But if you haven't heard of Taylor Swift, I would be just absolutely stunned. Anyway,
Is she the most... We had this discussion at home last night. Would she be the most known person on earth?
Currently, yes.
See, Jim and I argued no. We went for Lionel Messi. We reckon Messi is more known... Because I don't reckon... Has Tay-Tay Mania swept Africa?
Yeah, but I agree. But music is a powerful thing, and music can reach everywhere, basically, somehow.
We just gave it to Messi because of Africa.
8223 0000 to be part of our jury. Tay yay or tay nay? Do you have Taylor Swift fatigue? We will take your calls after this. But first, let's get to the traffic. When the UV is 3 and above, cover up, use sun protection, stay SunSmart, download the SunSmart app.
At Dry Creek, a crashing car rollover on the north-south motorway near Globe Derby Drive as you're heading outbound. Really heavy delays in both directions. Try using Port Wakefield Road instead this morning. At Croydon, a breakdown South Road near Port Road affecting Citybound, and works at Leeward Gardens. Got things a bit sluggish at the moment. Mount Barker Road near the freeway. Cameras Port Road, Aldinga, and Wandana Avenue at Gillis Plains. You could be an instant millionaire. Get your Hospital Research Foundation Home Lottery early bird tickets before midnight Friday for your chance to win. homelottery.com.au. Adelaide's most accurate traffic on 5AA.
Don't just get a forklift, get a Toyota forklift. Right now, Toyota Material Handling is having a massive clear out of 2023 plated forklifts. Score a great deal across a selected range of new Toyota forklifts currently in stock. Counterbalance and reach forklifts, walkie stackers and more. So if it's 2023 plated, get a great Toyota forklift deal. Visit toyotamaterialhandling.com.au.
Get a Toyota forklift.
T's and C's apply. Offer ends March 31st.
Hi, I'm Lynn Andrews. The Lynn Andrews team have seen a lot of change in real estate over the past 50 years, but one thing remains unchanged: our passion to help people invest in their future, to build strong property portfolios in either the residential or the commercial sectors. Our commitment to property investment over the years means we have a wealth of knowledge to share. We're here to help you. Visit lynnandrews.com.au.
Now, how's this, Tina? The Tina Turner musical is rolling into Adelaide this April, and due to popular demand, final performances have just been announced.
Celebrating the inspiring life story of Tina Turner, the absolute queen of rock and roll, Australian critics are calling it a rock music spectacular. Tina is guaranteed to have you on your feet.
Now, it features more than 20 of her most iconic songs, including Proud Mary, River Deep Mountain High, and Simply the Best. Whether you're a massive Tina Turner fan or just looking for an unforgettable night out, we guarantee that you'll have the time of your life at Tina.
So gather your friends, dust off your dancing shoes, and get ready to have simply the best time at the Festival Theatre. Book now at Ticketek.
Before you do a thesis in dishwasher, depart on an oven odyssey, or make a pilgrimage up Mount Washing Machine. Just trying to work out what appliances to get? Drop into Adelaide Appliance Gallery. We're here to make your life easier. We've got the best advice, best appliances, and the best offers on Smeg. Choose from Smeg's linear range of ovens and save up to $1,200 during the clearance sale. Make your life easier with Adelaide Appliance Gallery, Paynham Road, St Peters.
FIVEAA Breakfast is streaming live right now. To watch, simply head to FIVEAA on Facebook or YouTube.
David Penberthy and Will Goodings. This is 5AA Breakfast.
Reminder that Will Goodings will be back tomorrow, but it is time for our trial by jury.
In the criminal justice system, all defendants are innocent until proven guilty, either by confession, plea bargain, or trial by jury. This is one of those trials.
We are asking Tay-Tay, yay or nay? Yay, are you over the fatigue, or nay, you're not?
So it's yay, I'm over it, nay, no, I'm not over it.
But
I'm happy with Taylor.
To be honest, we'll take all your thoughts on Taylor Swift
That's
this morning.
right.
Let's get straight to it. Juror number one, what do you say?
Absolutely, Tay, yay. Totally over it.
Totally over it.
Absolutely and totally over it.
Well, keep
Very-
listening to us because we're not going to be doing
very-
round-the-clock
Very
coverage.
passionate fatigue there. Thank you, juror number one. Juror number two, good morning.
Good morning. I would have said I don't know, but last night I had a dream about my dear old husband putting his best clothes on. And I said, where are you going? He said, I've got a date with Taylor Swift. And so it's definitely a tape.
Thank you, juror
I'll tell you what.
number two.
Speculating that it sounds like juror number two's husband might be well into his 80s. He's punching above his weight if he's raced off Taylor Swift
She
for
said she didn't know as well ahead of time. Anyway, let's go straight to juror number three quickly. Juror three, what are your thoughts? Yay or nay?
A million years, nay.
A million years, nay. There we go.
Okay.
No fatigue there
No
for juror
fatigue.
number three. Juror number
Good
four,
stuff.
what say you?
Definitely over it. Absolutely. Give me the Eagles any day.
Go another yay
Desperado.
over it. Juror number five to round us out. What do you reckon?
Look, I think she's so overexposed given her fair skin. She's a walking advertisement for sunscreen. So, yeah, I'm over it.
There we go, an overwhelming over it.
Overwhelming majority over the Tay Yay fatigue. We have a $100 unique home style foods. Well, I think juror number one.
Oh, no, juror number two. It's got to be juror number two.
Well, we got two of them. We'll give both of them away.
All right,
juror
we'll do
number
that.
one was so passionately
Oh, yeah.
over it.
But when
then
it's got
juror
to the
number
point where you're
two-
having a nightmare that your husband's having a secret dalliance with Taylor Swift.
Jurors number one and two, congratulations. The Unique Homestyle Foods $100 voucher coming your way. Get unique pies, sausage rolls and donuts from your local independent supermarket. It is time for something better. Coming up is the 8 o'clock news with Graham Goodings. Very shortly, though, in the final hour of the program, breaking at 8, we're chatting with a workplace expert. Blair Boyer, Education Minister, I believe coming on to defend the Fairy Bread decision. We'll see what that holds.
Fairy Bread Gate.
Fairy Bread Gate, you heard it here
Isn't
first.
gate the most overused suffix?
Yeah, well, we're going to keep
Makes
using
no
it,
sense.
especially with the Fairy Bread.
Fairy
Fairy
Bread
Bread Gate
Gate.
after 8:30 with the Education Minister.
NRG Solar have moved to a new location. It's bigger and better, and their new warehouse is fully stocked with wholesale solar and battery equipment. So, if you're looking to save money on electricity and help our environment, don't wait. Visit NRG Solar at their new office on South Road, St Mary's, where every 3 customers refer someone they know, which means they must be doing something right. Call into NRG Solar at their new premises, 1275 South Road, or visit nrgsolar.com.au.
Ah, now let's see what's in the swear jar at Buy Urban Bathrooms and Kitchens.
Wait, that's a cookie jar.
Busted. My mistake. Let's see. Here it is. Here's one from Renette, an interior designer at Buy Urban for over 20 years. Renette swears to ensure your dream bathroom becomes a wonderful reality. For a team that swears to deliver on quality and service, see Buy Urban Bathrooms and Kitchens, Adelaide's home renovation experts. Wouldn't mind a cookie.
You can do just about anything online. Shop, meet new friends, watch reruns of your favourite TV shows or movies. But there's one thing you should never do online, and that's your will. From the simplest to the most complex wills and estate plans, Donlan Lawyers can answer your questions and help carry out your final wishes. For wills and estate planning, visit donlanlawyers.com. Hindmarsh Square, Adelaide, and Ocean Street, Victor Harbour.
This year, it's time to stop holding yourself back. It's time to get the smile of your life at Next Smile Australia. Our gold standard all-on-4 gives you a new set of fixed, long-lasting teeth, a smile you want to show off, and a return to eating the foods you love. You also get 4 decades of dedicated all-on-4 experience and a clinically proven 98% success rate. Discover your new smile with Next Smile Australia. Book a complimentary consultation at nextsmile.com.au.
Online, on DAB Digital Radio, and on 1395 AM. Talking Adelaide. This is Adelaide's 5AA.
Sunny and 27 today with the 8 o'clock news. Good morning. I'm Graham Goodings.
Chipped windscreen? Complete Windscreens can repair it from just $99. Look for the big red koala.
The Prime Minister has joined global leaders in warning Israel against a full-scale offensive in southern Gaza. Anthony Albanese says he's deeply concerned about a military operation at the Rafah crossing, where millions of Palestinians fled to at the height of the conflict. 67 people have been killed and dozens more injured in recent strikes in the region. Safe Work SA is continuing investigations into the Ice Arena gas leak that resulted in 49 people ending up in hospital with carbon monoxide poisoning. All those affected have since been discharged from hospital. The Ice Arena reopened yesterday after assurances from management that the venue was safe. A man has been arrested over a break-in at Port Noarlunga. Senior Constable Jen Cullinan says he was reported by a member of the public entering a construction site in the early hours of this morning.
And they searched the construction site and found that a portable hut had been broken into and some hardware stolen. They then searched the van and located that hardware along with an amount of cannabis and some drug paraphernalia.
The 40-year-old from Moonta Bay has been charged with serious criminal trespass, theft and drug offences. A key Indigenous employment program is being scrapped in favour of a new scheme which the federal government says will generate 3,000 jobs over the next 3 years. Labor will spend $700 million setting up new work opportunities in remote First Nations communities. The scheme will focus on the care sector, hospitality, tourism and retail. The Communications Minister has highlighted the significance of broadcasting this World Radio Day. Over many years, radio has remained an essential way of communication, especially during natural disasters and the COVID-19 pandemic. Michelle Rowland says radio allows for diversity and sharing of stories.
And radio is one of the oldest forms of communication. And on this World Radio Day, I think it's important to recognise how much radio has really stood the test of time. They continue to ensure that it punches well above its weight when it comes to diverse voices and stories.
Now turning to 5AA Sport.
Order a new roller door from Glider Roll before February 28 and receive a $100 gift voucher. T's and C's apply.
Now here's Tom Wren.
Thank you, Graham. Let's start with footy. Around 50 AFL players could be earning at least $1 million per season by 2025. It comes as the salary cap rises to $17.7 million next year. A 10% rise in wages saw 19 players earn at least $1 million last year. Meantime, Newport skipper Connor Rozee says the health of the list is looking good ahead of the Powers internal trial match. That's on Friday at Alberton. Aaliyah, Todd Marshall and Trent McKenzie all had post-season surgery, but Rozee has told Rowie and Timmy G they're all tracking well.
So Aaliyah and Todd are back to full training. They've been great the last couple of weeks. Aaliyah's been back for a while now.
Right.
And Trent McKenzie, I think he's looking to try and get back before the trial game. If not, then maybe just a couple more weeks. So he's getting closer to getting back into full training. But our list is looking pretty healthy at this stage.
Yeah, it's good to hear. Let's go to Cricket. Australia will take on the West Indies in the final T20 match of their series in Perth later today, our time. The Aussies lead that best-of-3 series 2-0. To soccer, Chelsea's back in the contest against Crystal Palace in their EPL clash this morning. Palace led 1-0 at half-time, but the Blues responded within 2 minutes of the restart.
Caicedo for Gusto. And it's put away by Gallagher. That's his first Premier League goal of the season.
Audio there thanks to Optus. It is still 1-1 with about half an hour to play. And that's the 5AA Sport.
Thanks, Tom. Now checking 5AA traffic.
When you cover things, they last longer. Same goes for you. Save your skin. Download the SunSmart app.
Morning there. Got a nasty crashing car roll over a dry creek. It's on the north-south motorway in Globe Derby Drive. Got really big delays both directions there. Try using Port Wakefield Road to get around that one this morning. Busy in a few spots. South Road at Tonsley with road plates in use. Slow going. Tapley's Hill Road at Glenelg North with a camera at Blue Street at Ingle Farm. Pick up a better brekkie at Hungry Jack's. $10 for a Jack's brekkie roll and a cheese toastie. Paired with a barista-made coffee till 11 a.m. On app only and pick up at Hungry Jack's. Adelaide's most accurate traffic on 5AA.
And now the 5AA forecast.
Stay cool. Service your aircon at Automasters. And keep cool with Cool Now, Pay Later options.
Sunny and 27 today, 24 tomorrow, partly cloudy. Thursday mostly sunny, 27, and Friday sunny and 30. Right now in Adelaide it's 23. More news as it happens on 5AA.
David Penberthy and Will Goodings. This is 5AA Breakfast.
Thank you, Graham. A lovely 23 degrees out there. He said top of 28 in Adelaide, which will be just lovely. But a reminder, UV, of course, is just extreme. Basically all of December, January, February. We're going for 11 extreme levels today. The sun rose at 6:47 this morning. Beautiful morning. Sunset tonight at 8:14 p.m. and we're heading, as I said, to 28 degrees in the CBD. Really looking forward to some lovely days ahead before it warms up over the weekend. Coming up in this final hour of the show, we will cross back with SAPOL shortly to find out how that car crash up in the northern suburbs is going. We will be giving away tickets to Gluttony, chatting with the Education Minister Blair Boyer, and a florist to get you ahead of Valentine's Day. Best off buying them today, I'm guessing, because tomorrow it'll be whatever you can get your hands on at the servo, probably, if you don't get organised. And as well, if
you're going to say it with flowers, don't say it with servo flowers. Although, in their defence, the standard has improved a lot. I noticed some at the servo the other day and thought they actually look all right.
Definitely. I would agree with that. In our headline this morning, I read out that carnations are making a comeback with young people.
I always associate them with Mother's Day.
I would like to disagree. If anyone ever buys me carnations, you will get a...
bunch of fives.
You'll get them thrust back at you. But, that's
they
just
seem
personal choice.
They seem a bit motherly.
I do, yes.
They don't scream romance, do they?
No, they don't.
It's like, thanks for everything you've done, Mum.
But then again, who am I to be picky? Thanks for the thought of giving me flowers. Equally as nice.
Exactly.
My mum, a little trick here to bolster up a homemade posy, and I think it's an excellent idea, is she puts sour sobs in them.
Sour sobs?
Because they're bright fluoro yellow, and sometimes up in the country where there's not a lot of growth and rain, flowers aren't aplenty sometimes, but they're always sour sobs.
Do they last?
Puts in a few little sour sobs. I don't know, but I think it's great. You can also eat sour sobs. So
I was just going to say the exact same thing. As kids, when we used to go rummaging around Sturt Creek and that, in wintertime, they're tangy.
Yeah, they're great.
You suck on the bottom of them and they've got this nice citrusy tang.
Ah, sour sobs. Put them in flower posies. You can eat them.
We're finding out all sorts of weird things about each other, Lucy, our shared love of eating sour sobs.
It is 8 minutes after 8. Time for breaking at 8.
speaking, as we were before, of Taylor Swift, the state government has just issued a warning about this explosion in the number of Taylor Tay-Tay-related scams. So far, 273 people have been ripped off Australia-wide trying to buy Taylor Swift tickets, which turned out to be bogus. $135,000 has been lost in the last few weeks. Now, mercifully, most of it's happening in the eastern states, but there's a group of South Australians who are $2,500 out of pocket. We're not sure if it's one person in Adelaide who paid $2,500 for a ticket or a group of people, because the prices that they're attracting are completely off the charts. But Andrea Michaels, the Fair Trading Minister, has just issued a statement replete with Taylor Swift-related puns, talking about the scammers being fearless, don't fall for pretty lies, all this sort of stuff. But the Minister has urged people to make sure that if they are going to try to buy a Taylor Swift ticket, that they should only do it from the authorised reseller, which is Ticketek Marketplace, and also urging people to dob in any scammers to the federal government's website, ScamWatch. But the numbers are just extraordinary. 273 reports to ScamWatch so far, $135,000 stolen. It's a devil's job to get the money back, and a lot of people just have to cop it and suck it up. But $2,500 lost by somebody here in South Australia. If you've ever been a victim of a scam along these lines, let us know, because happened to me years ago. I bought tickets to see the rap group Public Enemy for our wedding anniversary at the Old Heaven nightclub. Rocked up on the night, and the guy said, "Mate, these tickets are rubbish. They're not worth the paper they're printed on." And to his great credit, the people at Heaven let us go in anyway, and they said, "We'll follow it up." But it was through that disreputable mob Viagogo who were reselling it. But if you, unlike our jurors, if you do still have Tay-Tay fever and you want to try to get your hands on a ticket, God knows how you can afford it in the current climate with the flights and the accommodation. But think before you hit click and upload your credit card details.
I know as well, we've talked a lot about Valentine's Day, peak time for scamming Valentine's Day. People wanting
romance,
love and romance, and give me $10,000 and I will fly out to meet you and we can all be happy. And be on high alert for scams this
some
Valentine's
bloke in
Day.
Nigeria you're actually talking to.
Oh dear! All this morning we've featured another crash on the north-south motorway in the northern suburbs. That came to us about an hour and a half ago. William from Mansfield Park is stuck in that traffic still. William, good morning.
Good morning, guys. I mean, sorry to hear that this person has had a serious crash. I mean, I can't see the car itself, but I've been on the Superway. You know where the Superway starts.
Yep.
And you got the old the White Horse Inn, the hotel.
Yes.
I can see from here, just before there, and it's every single lane basically stationary. All the way up past there, so I'm assuming it goes past the White Horse Inn. But I've been here for 20 minutes and I've probably made 10, 15 metres.
Yeah.
Wow.
A lot of people
So it must be serious.
Yeah. No,
Thank you, William.
It sounds bad, William. Thanks for that, mate.
We will get a direct update from the cops. Senior Constable Jen Cullinan, good morning to you. How are we looking? What's the official report? We know that the emergency crews were heading up there at 6:50. What's happened since?
Yeah, we're happy to announce that the lanes are actually reopened, so hopefully that caller won't be stuck for much longer. They are going to reduce the speed for the next 30 minutes until the tow truck can get the ute moved from the scene. Luckily, there's no serious injuries in that crash.
Well, that's good.
But we get reports that people are actually trying to reverse from the on-ramp. So
reverse?
Reverse from the on-ramp.
So reverse back in oncoming traffic?
Yeah.
Probably not a very
because they
smart
can see
maneuver.
the standing traffic and they think that that's a wise idea for some reason. I don't know why, because it's extremely dangerous and stupid.
Yeah, completely.
So please don't reverse off the on-ramp when you see that there's standing traffic. But hopefully within the next 30 minutes it should all clear and everybody can make their way to the happy jobs of employment that they're all in a rush to get to.
Yeah.
Jen, I think we mentioned earlier, it was a single car rollover?
Yeah, it's a single car rollover, a ute that had crashed into a wall. So yeah, luckily again, no serious injuries there.
Wow.
Wonderful. Thank you very
Can't
much,
believe
Jen, for the
people doing that on the on-ramp,
update.
crikey.
Well, it's just giving other states another excuse to say, ugh, SA drivers, the worst.
Yeah, well, I don't know. It's just uniquely stupid manoeuvre, I would have thought.
We spoke earlier about the detainees who were released end of last year into our community. Anthony Albanese has been out and about this morning, and he spoke on Sydney's 2GB this morning. Here's Albo.
There's a very high legal threshold to be met for a court to agree to the ongoing detention of an offender. What we want to make sure is that this is got right. There's no point putting in an application that is not successful.
So that is the Prime Minister there. Just to recap, the 149 detainees released in mid-November, 7 murderers, 37 sex offenders, 72 violent criminals, 16 domestic violence offenders, 13 drug traffickers. Of those, 24 have committed another crime since their release.
Isn't the real need for clear the diary sort of urgency with this within the Department of Homeland Security? And, you know, the thing is, none of these people have been released in Braddon or Deakin. None of them are running around in the la-di-da suburbs of Canberra, where all of the public servants there live and work. They've been out here in Adelaide's northern suburbs actually breaking the law. You know, like, get off your backsides, people. It's just terrible. It's dereliction of duty that they haven't fixed this yet.
We've been talking a lot about cost this morning as well after it was revealed our governor has received a huge pay rise. Let's chat about something a bit closer to home and useful for people to know about this morning. Fuel Watch, or thanks to RAA. Find out when fuel is at its cheapest and where to fill up nearby with the free RAA app. A lot of stores still at $2.19. I saw it drop to $2.18 yesterday.
Oh, wow.
But a few still cheaper spots.
Ka-ching.
I know, still in the $1.70s, these few. Listen up. Ex-Convenience Grand Junction Road, Port Adelaide, $1.74. The United South Road, Melrose Park, $1.75. The St Agnes Fuel on North East Road in Tea Tree Gully, $1.89. Cheapest diesel we can see is the Liberty Main North Road in Blair Athol, $1.87.
I like this droll text, Luce. The way the food prices are going at the moment, maybe we'll all end up eating sour sobs.
Yes, that's
There you
right.
go. Don't just fill your posies with them. Maybe you can put them in your kids' lunchbox.
They are...
Where are they on the red, green and yellow list? Are they banned?
Well, they're great for vegetarians. They're great for vegans. It's all plant material. Probably got lots of fibre.
Yeah, they're a pain to weed. They just come up like mad, don't they?
A favourite activity in winter is when you just stomp through them and they're about up to your shins, but you can see your footprints.
It's almost a fool's errand weeding sour sobs because they've got the weird root structure. It's almost impossible to get them out. Terrible.
We are looking for our big Fleetwood Mac fans this morning, 82230055, for your chance to win Fleet Mac Wood tickets this today, all of this week actually. They are playing at Fantail at Gluttony in Rymel Park, home of the biggest shows is Fringe. Tickets from gluttony.net.au. If you could please identify this song, Fleetwood Mac fans, here we go. Would you stand?
Know what it's called.
82230055 for your chance to win Gluttony tickets to see Fleet Mac Wood. This Gluttony at the Fantail. We will take our winner straight after the traffic. We'll hear traffic in its broader sense this morning. When the UV is 3 and above, cover up, use sun protection, stay SunSmart, download the SunSmart app, and I will play this again for those who would like to hear it again before the traffic. Would you stand? $30055. Please name that Fleetwood Mac song. We will take your call after the traffic.
Thanks, Lucy. A Dry Creek, nasty crash and car rollover on the north-south motorway near Globe Derby Drive as you're heading outbound. Really heavy delays both directions. Tries in Port Wakefield Road instead. Slow for works at Leewood Gardens, Mount Barker Road near the freeway. Quite busy at the moment at Seaford Rise for works. Main South Road near Bakewell Drive with a camera at Kelly Road at Modbury. Play for $652 million in the USA Mega Lotto and get more zeros in your life. The world's biggest lotteries are at the Lottery Office. Play now at lotteryoffice.com.au. Adelaide's most accurate traffic on 5AA.
Rowie and Timmy G on the 5AA Sports Show.
They've got some big news coming up, Saka, and you'll hear it here first. So, big news about the test schedule. Gee, have I got some mail. But I'm going to leave it to the Saka to drop, and it's around the test, and I think we're going to be very, very happy.
Rowie and Timmy G.
Let me just say, without breaching confidences, for a good 6 years, we will be rewarded
4 p.m. weekdays on 5AA.
If you need to fix your pipes, call Precise. Call Precise. If your toilet's blocking up, call Precise. Call Precise. If your lights aren't turning on, or your hot water is gone, or a plumber or an electrician, call Precise. Precise.
Precise Plumbing and Electrical. Call 1300 700 200. That's 1300 700 200. Precise Plumbing and Electrical. We're helping life flow.
Or a plumber or an electrician, call Precise. Call Precise.
Before you do a thesis in dishwasher, depart on an oven odyssey, or make a pilgrimage up Mount Washing Machine. Just trying to work out what appliances to get? Drop into Adelaide Appliance Gallery. We're here to make your life easier. We've got the best advice, best appliances, and the best offers on SMEG. Save up to 15% with special discounts on fridges, cookers, dishwashers, and more. That's 15% off. Make your life easier with Adelaide Appliance Gallery, Paynham Road, St Peters.
Thinking about a solar battery? Don't wait. Connect with NRG Solar and bring home a solar battery with a rock-solid 10-year warranty. Use the energy you generate during the day. Store some for later, reducing reliance on energy providers and putting money back in your pocket. See NRG Solar in their new premises at St Mary's. Bigger place, better space, some amazing people. Visit NRG Solar now at 1275 South Road or call 1300 858 160.
Are you ready for something huge? It's an offer that is unrivaled, unsurpassable, unforgettable. Mawson Lakes Mazda is giving you 3 days, just 3 days to walk in and drive out in your dream Mazda. All makes, all models, all colours, all ready to drive away. This Thursday, Friday and Saturday only. Do not miss this. Mawson Lakes Mazda's unprecedented 3-day sale. Thursday to Saturday, Salisbury Highway, just a short drive from the city.
Rosanna Mangiarelli here from 7 News. Join me and Will Goodings for Adelaide's leading news hour, 7 News, tonight at 6 o'clock.
David Penberthy and Will Goodings, 5AA Breakfast.
Great start to the morning at 8:20 hearing that. I just love that beat, run in.
Let's dance.
Let's dance. The song we were asking for this morning, we've asked our Fleetwood Mac fans to identify that little bit of music I played before the break. Nikki in Myrtle Bank, do you think you know what it was? Good morning.
Oh, good morning, Lucy. I think it's Rhiannon. Will You Ever Win?
Yes. It certainly is, Nikki. Nailed it.
Sorry, I had to find my little cheery there. Congratulations, Nikki. Here is the full version. Released in 1975 on their album Fleetwood Mac. Nikki, congratulations. You and a friend have won tickets to Fleet Mac Wood in the Fantail at Gluttony. Rymel Park, home of the biggest shows, is Fringe tickets at gluttony.net.au. The Fringe, for those playing at home, actually kicks off this Friday.
Yeah, right.
January seems to have vanished. We are approximately 11.7% through the way of 2024 already, and Fringe is starting this Friday.
Mad March will be upon us soon, starting in February. All questions of workplace/industrial relations are a quid pro quo. I give you something, you give me something in return. Maybe Santos and its workforce has struck the perfect balance with its 9-day week because everyone seems to win out of it. Steve Sharp is a workplace environment and resilience expert, and we've got him on the line now to talk about the new Santos agreement. Steve, good morning. This is really interesting the way it's come about because by his own admission, Kevin Gallagher, the Santos boss, said he was a sceptic, a cynic about all of this. And they did a trial, productivity's gone up and everyone's happier.
Yeah, morning guys. It's certainly a contradiction to what you would normally think, but I think the war on talent these days is just immense. And when I talk to business owners and leaders, trying to find and retain great people is really the battleground. And so I think Santos has kind of struck the balance between, helping people find balance and well-being in life, but also creating more focus during work hours. And when you read, the media releases from the, the commentary from employees, that's exactly what they're saying, is they're they're more motivated and focused at the time that they are at work because they know that they've got that extra time to balance with life, and whether that's spending time with family or getting things done that they would normally have to do on a Saturday and Sunday. They're all very happy about it.
Do you think that we're going to be seeing much more of this when you've got companies like Santos that, you know, historically has probably been regarded as the least likely to go down this path? If a company like Santos is doing it, it sort of raises the question, what's the end point?
Well, imagine what Santos's competitors are thinking now.
Yeah.
Right? In terms of the war on talent, I absolutely think we're going to see more and more of this. And when you look at what's happened to the 4-day week across the globe, that's an emerging kind of trend as well, where more and more businesses are really getting into, you know, should we focus on the time we've got the people, or should we focus on the productivity and output? And structure our weeks around that. When you look at the stats, you know, not only from Santos on the 9-day week, but certainly the 4-day week, some of the stats that are coming out of those trials, not only in Australia, but in the UK and Europe too, are just phenomenal around, you know, the increase in productivity, the decrease in absenteeism, the increase in retention, employees feeling a whole lot better and much more loyal to the company that they're working. I absolutely think this is a trend that we're going to see continue.
Steve, we had a text earlier from Trevor who said, I remember working longer days for a 9-day fortnight back in the 80s, and perhaps that fell into disuse in recent years. But the whole idea now is that people don't want to work the longer hours in a shorter work week. It's to keep the same hours. Is that going to be the trend that we see, or will people fall into, I need to complete all my work, so the longer days may just creep back in normally?
Well, I think there could be that creep, but what we're seeing from Santos and the other studies is there's very little increase in hours, because I think the critical issue that I've seen across this is all of these types of trials and continuations of whether it's 9-day or 4-day is done with high collaboration with the employees. So it's not just a business coming out saying, right, everybody, we're going to do this. There's actually a lot of work and effort put into collaborating with everyone in the organisation about how it's going to work, and then the monitoring processes. So if there is creep in terms of hours, the business is across that and constantly reviewing it. And so I think the smarts and the processes and the discussions that are being put into how we design these for particular businesses is really detailed. And I think that's probably the difference that we're seeing today than in previous times.
Steve Sharp, workplace environment and resilience expert, thanks very much for joining us this morning for your analysis.
Steve in Bellevue Heights has called in on this. Steve, good morning.
Yeah, good morning. I hope you're well.
You too, mate.
Look, when I was working in Mitsubishi, we were on a 9-day fortnight. I was doing it for all the years that I worked there, and everyone went along with it well.
Yeah.
I mean, it gave you one extra day off a fortnight.
Steve, did you ever go back to working, full-time, I guess, so a 10-day fortnight?
Well, I actually now work as a carer, and the hour in-house, which is very different hours. But, I mean, look, I never had a problem with it. I mean, the only problem I ever really had was actually the traffic finishing work. But that aside, I mean, it's, you know, you don't really notice too much the extra half hour. You actually notice a half hour less you did on the ninth day.
Yeah.
Because the way it broke down was that you did 8 days at 8.5 hours, 1 day at 8 hours, which worked out to 76 a fortnight.
Yeah.
Thank
Good
you,
system.
Steve. 9-day fortnight at Mitsubishi. A couple of texts along that line. Someone says, as a tradie, I'd love a 9-day week, but that ain't happening.
I was thinking about people who are self-employed, like the idea of having any days off ever would strike them as fanciful. I mean, if you're running a coffee shop and you're listening to this conversation, you're probably muttering over your steam...
Because cafe owners
milk thing called,
and small business owners work, 16-day fortnights. they work all hours.
Yeah, for
overtime.
sure.
They've got to do it all.
Every time they take a holiday, they're losing dough.
That's right. Lindsay here says, good morning, guys. Santos decision to a 9-day week. Does this apply to the people working 12-hour days in treacherous conditions in the fields, rigs and mines, or only the ones who work currently 50% from home and always in air-conditioned comfort?
Good point.
Santos hasn't detailed specifically the therefore new conditions for those who are out on their mines?
No, well, some people are actually not eligible for it.
Right.
So people working in the field, yeah, they're not eligible. So there's a sort of white collar, blue collar split on this. Joe from Gawler makes a good point. Pembo, I'd rather have service station flowers than no flowers at all for any occasion. And one here from Steve asking, is the term doing a Barnaby going to enter the vernacular? It should. It
Totally
should. How was your Friday night? Oh, mate, I ended up full Barnaby. People know what you're talking about.
Another term we've reintroduced is Fairy Bread Gate. We are chatting Fairy Bread Gate with the Education Minister after the 8:30 news.
Get obsessed with the Honda SUV range at Formula Honda, Modbury and Glen Osmond. Whether it's the compact HRV, the sporty mid-sized Honda ZRV, or the spacious CRV. And for a limited time, new Honda SUVs come with a 7-year warranty, 7-year roadside assist, and 5 standard low-price services at $199 each. Visit Formula Honda, Modbury or Glen Osmond and test drive today. Vehicles used for a commercial purpose have a 7-year or 200,000 kilometre warranty, whichever occurs first. T's and C's at honda.com.au.
What's on your bucket list? Skydiving? Swimming with dolphins? Hot air ballooning? Before you plan a bucket list, plan your will with Donlan Lawyers. A will, power of attorney and advanced care directive speak for you when you can't. It means you and your loved ones will be taken care of. Visit donlanlawyers.com. Put it on your bucket list. Hindmarsh Square, Adelaide and Ocean Street, Victor Harbour.
This is Adelaide's 5AA.
Sunny and 27 today with the 8:30 news. I'm Graham Goodings.
From chips to replacements, make Complete Windscreens your insurer repairer of choice. CompleteWindscreens.com.au.
Police from around the world have joined forces to shut down an international cybercrime network. They've arrested a 27-year-old Maltese national accused of promoting war zone software, which helps hackers remotely access computers and steal personal information. AFP cybercrime commander Chris Goldsmith says it's a huge win.
Cybercriminals are not bound by traditional borders, which means law enforcement agencies have to unite to make a lasting impact. This operation is an example of what the AFP's international network can accomplish with partners like Europol and the FBI.
One of our big banks is scrapping over-the-counter deposits and withdrawals. ANZ has begun scaling back the in-person service at branches across Sydney, with all sites expected to cease offering the service next month. National Senator Matt Canavan says he'll push to see the matter investigated by the ongoing inquiry into bank branch closures.
We're looking at possible hearing somewhere in a city where I think we need to take this up and get the real answers. The Senate can demand these answers about how many branches are shutting and about how many of these branches aren't taking cash deposits. So we'll take that up for you. If they won't tell you, I'll have to come to the Parliament.
Thousands of Toyota cars are being recalled due to a potentially fatal defect. Up to 9,000 Toyota Yaris and Yaris hybrid models built between 2020 and 2023 could have an issue which will cause the steering to fail. People with those models are urged to contact their dealers as soon as possible. The demand for Taylor Swift concert tickets has prompted a renewed warning about scammers. Many South Australians are still trying to get tickets to her upcoming shows interstate. Consumer Affairs Minister Andrea Michaels says don't fall for dodgy sellers online.
We know there's been multiple reports of fake Facebook profiles and fake tickets being posted on social media trying to sell Taylor tickets, and we really want people to be careful and not get caught by these scammers.
Ticketek Marketplace is the only official reseller. South Australians are being encouraged to show their support for organ and tissue donation by organising or participating in a Gift of Life walk. More than 1,800 Australians are currently on the waiting list for life-saving transplants, and while 4 in 5 Aussies say they support organ donation, only 36% have officially registered. Scott Clouder from Gifts of Life says the walking events celebrate the gift of organ donation while encouraging more of us to sign up and discuss the decision with our family.
The Gift of Life walk has been running for many years now, and it's a chance for people to do a healthy walk but also get together with their community and their family and talk about organ and tissue donation. So it's a subject we don't talk about often enough, and so this walk is a chance to bring people together and encourage people to register to be organ and tissue donors.
Now turning to 5AA Sport.
Order a new roller door from Glider Roll before February 28 and receive a $100 gift voucher. T's and C's apply.
And good morning, Tom Wren.
And a very good morning to you as well, Graham. Australia will be hoping to wrap up its T20 series against the West Indies when the two sides meet later today in Perth. Redbacks Jake Fraser-McGurk and Wes Agar have been added to the squad. Meantime, 3 members of Australia's under-19 Cricket World Cup winning side have been named in the team of the tournament. Well, ahead of the Paris Olympics, there's a push to secure better financial support for Australian athletes. Beach volleyball great Natalie Cook appeared at 5 Olympic Games, and she's told today financial pressures could stifle hopes of medals in the future.
I retired after London, $300,000 in debt, and I don't want to see our next generation have to go through that. Sadly, I look back and I think it's a bit worse.
There have been some embarrassing admissions from some members of the San Francisco 49ers players following their heartbreaking loss in the Super Bowl. The 49ers scored first in overtime to take a 22-19 point lead, but then gave up a touchdown to lose the game, and some players have conceded they weren't entirely sure how the rules worked, while the Kansas City Chiefs had discussed it every week during the playoffs. To soccer now, Chelsea's come from a goal down to claim all 3 points in a 3-1 win against Crystal Palace in the EPL this morning. They trailed 1-0 at half-time, but Conor Gallagher was the man of the hour with 2 goals for the Blues.
Here's Gallagher! Well, he owns this place. He's done it for Chelsea again. 2-1 last season, he got the winning goal. 2-1 this season, it could well be the winner again.
Audio there thanks to Optus. They ended up winning 3-1 with another very late goal. And teenage dart sensation Luke Littler has hit a 9-dart finish in his Players' Championship debut. And that's the 5AA Sport.
And now checking 5AA traffic.
When you cover things, they last longer. Same goes for you. Save your skin. Download the SunSmart app.
At Dry Creek, crash and car rollover on the north-south motorway near Globe Derby Drive as you're heading outbound. Heavy delays in both directions. Try support Wakefield Road instead. Windsor Gardens has works at Olds Road near Lagonda Drive. Super busy at the moment. Tapley's Hill Road at Fulham heading towards the airport, with Cameras Main Road, Wollonga, and Kelly Road at Modbury. Mercedes is on now with savings on Mercedes-Benz demonstrator models and 3 years complimentary scheduled servicing. Visit Mercedes-Benz Adelaide and Unley today. T's and C's apply. Adelaide's most accurate traffic on 5AA.
And now the 5AA forecast.
Stay cool. Service your aircon at Automasters. And keep cool with Cool Now, Pay Later options.
27 and sunny today. Tomorrow partly cloudy, 24. Thursday mostly sunny, 27. Friday sunny and up to 30. Right now it's 24. More news as it happens on 5AA.
It all started in the back shed. Maybe it started early. Or late. Either way, the Olympic Industries sale means there's no need to wait. With big savings on our entire range of SA-engineered sheds, garages, carports and verandas, you can afford to start something big, tough, or tasty in your own backyard. Start something with the Olympic Industries sale. On now.
$50,000 just sitting in the bank doing not much. Are you interested in a direct mortgage investment perhaps? You could be earning 10.0% per annum paid to you monthly. That's right, 10%.
That's right. Angus Securities has provided mortgage investment opportunities in South Australia for almost 25 years. Call 1-800-010 800 to discuss this investment offer or visit the Flinders Street office.
That's right, 1-800-010-800 there. Investments are not bank deposits and there is a risk you could lose some or all of your money. You may receive lower than expected returns. Read the PDS carefully to decide if the product is right for you. AFSL 232479.
That's right. Visit Angus Securities to access further information, including the offer brochure and TMD.
10.0% per annum fixed interest paid monthly. You're better off with Angus.
FIVEAA Breakfast is streaming live right now. To watch, simply head to FIVEAA on Facebook or YouTube.
David Penberthy and Will Goodings. 5AA Breakfast.
8:38, Tuesday the 13th of February. Tomorrow is Valentine's Day. We will be speaking shortly with our resident florist, Sally Watton. Floristry by Sally. We'll be chatting with her shortly for your last-minute tips and tricks to help you out ahead of Valentine's Day tomorrow, or you might just be in the market for a nice bunch of flowers this Tuesday. But before we get to Sally, we want to chat about Fairy Bread Gate. Now, David, in the news break just then, I've done an illegal thing. I've had an Uncle Toby's yogurt mango passion fruit muesli bar.
Well, that is on the Red Foods number 2
Never.
list, Luce. Never. I tell you what, the number of parents who are breaking the law. Well, it's not actually a law; it's a guideline.
The guideline, yes.
I reckon that would have to be in more than half of every kid's lunchboxes today, and you know it's on Red Foods number 2. Which is the Never list, coated or topped muesli bars, along with deep-fried meat, chicken or fish, deep-fried chips, ice creams that contain confectionery, sugar-sweetened ice blocks, soft drinks, all confectionery, even including carob, and hundreds and thousands. Well, we've almost had hundreds and thousands of texts about this and calls this morning because it's rubbed a lot of people up the wrong way. We're joined now by the Education Minister, Blair Boyer. Minister, thanks for your time. Now, we should keep this in some sort of perspective, shouldn't we? Because we're not talking about sort of education department goons going around the lockers acting as lunchbox inspectors, are we?
We're not. And you're right, a bit of a perspective is important, but I can understand how these kind of things rile parents up. I've spent the morning packing my kids' school lunches as well. I reckon the item that you just referred to could be in one of their lunchboxes, if not all three of them, and routinely is, along with things like Vegemite sandwiches, and one of my daughters loves a jam sandwich as well. But listen, these are only guidelines, and only guidelines for canteens. So for parents, in terms of what they put in their lunchboxes for kids, David, they're free to put whatever they want. But and to be honest, the guidelines have been in place since 2008, and I think the treatment of things like hundreds and thousands has been the same since 2008, but we recently did an update in June last year to add things that are new, things like kombucha and stuff like that weren't around kind of in 2008, to include those as well. But for things like special occasions and special events at school, guidelines don't apply. Lunchboxes, parents free to put in them what they want, and canteens, it's just a guideline for them as well. And looking at my own kids' menu at their canteen, and they're at a public primary school, we've still got pies, sausage rolls, chicken burgers, hot dogs, which is my daughter's favourite, which they have on a Thursday. So all that stuff is there, but I guess we're looking at childhood obesity rates of 30%. So 30% of Aussie kids are either overweight or obese. I think South Australia has the highest level in the country. So we're trying to do something around providing advice to parents around what's good and what's not, but the decision ultimately still totally rests with parents.
But if these guidelines are followed, though, Minister, so looking at the list, Red Foods 1, which is twice a term. Now, you just mentioned sausage rolls. If these guidelines are followed, sausage rolls would only be available twice a term. So that's two days, 8 days a year. But then you read the list of green foods, buckwheat, lentils, chickpeas, split peas, tofu, cheese that's lower in fat, i.e. cottage or ricotta. This is a list of everything my kids wouldn't eat in a blue fit.
And nor mine, David, either. I've never put that in my kids' lunchbox. It was never in my own. I don't think I'll ever put it in my kids' lunchbox, and they'd look at me in a very strange way if they got to school and opened it and found buckwheat. But, you made before the very good point about is this department goons, rolling around the corridors, collecting lunchboxes and inspecting them. It's not, but it's also not education staff writing the dietary advice. It comes from SA Health and experts in the area around what's healthy and what's not, and we take that and we turn it into guidelines for parents. And totally accept parents out there aren't going to be about to, fry up a bit of tofu and whack it in the lunchbox to school, and nor would I expect them to do it. And I can tell you, not in a pink fit am I going to be doing that either. It is just advice, but we have to try to do something around us having the most obese kids, the highest level of obesity in Australia, I guess. So we're trying to provide that advice while still giving parents all the flexibility they've enjoyed since day dot to decide what goes in their own child's lunchbox and what doesn't, and we're giving that flexibility to canteens as well. And of course, there is space, and there is appropriate to have flexibility for special occasions at schools where it's a birthday or a school's putting an event on, and we're making sure that ability for schools to make those decisions stays as well.
Minister, I do have another query about a specific one. You've put honey in the red foods one twice a term. Now, honey is in the same category as Fritz and Cabana. Fritz and Cabana, we routinely joke that we don't actually know what's in them, but honey is a direct product from bees. It's a wonderful source of energy. A lot of it's natural sugars. Things like that are perfect on a piece of wholemeal bread with butter for kids. Why is that put in something the same as Cabana?
Again, I understand. That's a very fair question. And again, I say as a parent who's routinely served up honey, and we enjoy it on a bit of toast in the morning as well. This is the dietary advice that we get from experts who know this stuff certainly better than me and know it better than the education department staff as well. And again, it is guidelines and just for canteens. So, if you want to put a honey sandwich in your kid's lunchbox, you're free to do it. And canteens, to be honest, if kids are asking for it and they still want it, they're not bound by the guidelines either. They are still guidelines to them. But I understand that some of the stuff on these lists, in terms of how it's colour-coded, will raise questions for parents about things that have been staples in our lunchboxes forever. I grew up wrong side of the border, so we called it Devon. But I had Devon sauce and white bread sandwiches going up. I've given myself away there.
Probably drinking Big M flavoured milk too.
Egg flips, Big M, Kembo. And I say bring that back. So, I grew up having all that same stuff, and my kids enjoy it too. Love Fritz and sauce and stuff, and they still can do that. It is hard, though, to work out what we can actually do to actually move that childhood obesity rate. Like, what is it we do to try to encourage parents? And I also accept cost of living, and it's tough for parents at the moment, and they don't want to be told, what you should do, parent who's struggling to pay the mortgage and put fuel in the car, you should serve tofu and buckwheat to your kids. I get it. They're not going to do it, and I wouldn't expect them to do it. It is just advice.
How confident are you, though, Minister, that you've said a few times this is all about the tuck shop, but some schools are a little bit more evangelical about this.
Yes.
And we've had texts this morning from parents saying that they've been chipped for putting, because a lot of schools have what's called a nude food policy. Everything shouldn't be wrapped in Glad wrap and that. But then for the parents, time-poor parents, or just because you want your kids to actually eat something, you chuck a bag of tiny teddies or chicken crimpies into the lunchbox. There does seem to be anecdotal evidence that some schools are actually going beyond the tuck shop and expressing opinions about the contents of the lunchbox too.
Yeah, I have a pretty strong opinion on that. I don't agree with it. I know that there might be staff who are passionate around healthy eating, and I appreciate that. It's good to have those in our education system because that'll help with that childhood obesity stuff, but I don't think it's right to be shaming parents with notes going home. Parents have enough on their plates. 100% of parents in the household are working now in almost every situation. And as you said, very time poor. I think they don't want to get home and pull a note out from the kid's bag saying you've breached the policy because you didn't have buckwheat or something like that in there today. So I have an issue with that, and I encourage people, if they do have some examples, they're welcome to reach out to the department or my office for us just maybe to have a quiet, polite word with schools around, not making parents feel bad who are trying their best in difficult circumstances. Great to have conversations in the classroom with kids around that kind of stuff. I'd love to hear that, because kids learn about new things they might like, and they go home and they tell mum and dad, and they might be able to incorporate into the family meal. But I think notes home is too far, in my opinion.
Yeah.
Minister, thank you very much. Education Minister Blair Boyer there. A couple of points on the text line as well, that exercise is more the key. People have had...
Totally.
As Blair Boyer, our minister said, he grew up on Fritz, and his kids have it as well. It's all about the exercise. And
getting them off their devices.
Getting them off the devices, I think, is the key issue there. 8223 0000. What are your thoughts, folks? Let's get to the phones straight away with this. Nick in Grange, good morning.
Good morning. I went to high school in the early 1980s, and my favourite lunch was a buttered roll with twisties and the roll and a can of Coke.
Nick,
Magnificent. It was my favourite. I'd have that twice a week. It was amazing.
We did the same thing at Marion High, mate, except we scooped out all the crust from the roll, then we put heaps of butter in it, and then we stuffed it with Samboy barbecue chips.
Oh, mate, it's honest to God. And by the way, if kids go to school with buckwheat, you can imagine the fun kids would have pronouncing it while holding their tongue.
Be almost as comical as the night they make fajitas on a Sunday.
The buckwheat in the lunchbox is now going to be the new running joke, isn't it? Oh, you've got one muesli bar, but a bowl full of buckwheat.
Where do you even
Good
get
on
buckwheat?
You. Sam in Croydon, good morning to you.
Good morning. Mine's just a general comment. I understand, I appreciate the government's trying to provide assistance to parents, but I thought at the end of the day, government, especially our state government at the moment, should be focusing on providing the services that they're put in by the people to do. I think I'm just, providing proper health infrastructure. We've got ramping everywhere on the hospitals, providing, better education. I'm just concerned that we're starting to overstep into, a private domain. If parents want that advice, they can go seek that advice. I'm just not sure why government's focusing so much on getting involved in private area, I think.
Yeah, I agree with you, Sam.
Thank you, Sam.
Yeah, that's a good point.
And all of those calls and texts to our show over the past, several years about the hospital ramping, perhaps thinking along the same lines as Sam. Thank you for those thoughts. Let's go to Maureen. Maureen in Point Pass. Morning, Maureen.
Hello, friends. How are you?
Very well, Maureen. How are you going up there in beautiful Point Pass?
I have just come back from my morning swim and my cup of coffee and drove home and I heard you on the radio, so I just had to ring up and say hello. Bienvenido.
Bienvenido.
Thanks, Maureen.
Yeah.
Welcome.
And, apart from that, on behalf of the children of today and on behalf of Paul Hogan, you can live off it, but it tastes like shit.
That is such a great and accurate comment. Like, I'm thinking about, so deep fried chicken is on Red Foods #2 brackets never. If you've actually gone to the trouble of making proper American hillbilly style deep fried chicken and you eat it 3 times a year, it's just one of life's simple pleasures. It's salty, it's fatty. And if you're doing it occasionally, as opposed to never, according to the strictures of the education department, where's the harm in that? Well, what about all your French mates? The stuff they eat.
Oh, but French don't snack. That's the key. They have their main meals. That's
they
it.
Amazingly fatty food, and it doesn't seem to do them any harm.
No.
Washing it down with a bit of the old vin ordinaire.
I think as well it depends on the person. Like I get hungry a lot because I have quite a fast metabolism. So here I am eating a totally banned muesli bar, which itself actually says 4 health star rating. But I just need a bit of sugar, a bit of energy because I digested my toast with avocado pretty quickly.
Yeah.
So it depends on the person. And to those who've got growing kids and some who say, well, they're lucky just to get enough food at all, given the situation we're in, I think that's more of the focus.
Dave from Alberton made a good point. Maybe we should be worried more about the kids who can't actually go to school with anything in their lunchbox.
That's right.
Particularly after the 13 successive interest rate rate hikes.
Let's check traffic this morning. When the UV is 3 and above, cover up, use sun protection, stay SunSmart. Download the SunSmart app.
Thanks, Lucy. At Dry Creek, crash and car rollover on the north-south motorway near Globe Derby Drive. Got delays easing there, so that's good news. Windsor Gardens has works which are slow. St Olds Road near Lagonda Drive. Quite busy at the moment. Tapley's Hill Road at Fulham heading towards the airport. And we've got Cameras Main Road, Wollonga and Kelly Road at Modbury. It's back to work time and Bunnings Tray can help you charge into the new year. Save time with the Power Pass app. You can view pricing, check stock levels and skip the registers using self-checkout. Adelaide's most accurate traffic on 5AA.
Look at these tourists now having a look at the water. Dude, you're on a main road. You're not sightseeing. If you want to sightsee, go get a tour bus. Get off your phone, mate. Look at the road. Look at this guy just changing lanes, not even looking where he's going. Dude, indicator. I'm actually going to have a heart attack.
Beat the heat. Keep cool with Fix Now, Pay Later options available. Book now. For great service guaranteed, call 1300 Automasters.
G'day everyone, Cornsey here. Now, I know a great team when I see one, and the South Australian hydraulic team I rate the highest is BL Shipway. I've known them for a long time. David Shipway's one of the best blokes you'll ever meet. BL Shipway, they've been looking after your hydraulic and pneumatic needs since 1953 with brands like Ryco, Rexroth, Enerpac, Hydac, Oilpath, EasyFit and many more. And if you can't get to them, they'll send a Ryco 24/7 van to you anytime, anywhere. blshipway.com.au, a South Australian team you can count on.
Some builders think a sloping block has limitations. When Beechwood Homes look at a sloping block, they think, the possibilities. Beechwood Homes know how to make the most of a sloping block. In fact, they specialise in them. Beechwood will design a home that works with the land you have, taking full advantage of every square metre. So if you're looking at a sloping block, go for it. Beechwood has your back. Life's good. It's even better in a Beechwood home. Google Beechwood Adelaide.
Look at this guy, just changing lanes, not even looking where he's going. Dude! Indicator!
Keep your cool in traffic with ice cold aircon from Automasters. Fix now, pay later options available. Call 1300 Automasters.
David Penberthy and Will Goodings. This is 5AA Breakfast.
8:53. Will Goodings back tomorrow. A couple of texts here on the Dutton's text line. Text line's been running hot this morning about a whole range of topics. Big 10 Ford, GWM, Haval, Hyundai, Isuzu, Ute, Mazda, Mitsubishi, Nissan, Ram, Subaru and Volkswagen. Dutton's easy to do business with. Now, we had a call about this earlier from Stacey saying it is Pancake Day today, and Bill just reiterating that on the text line. Also known as Shrove Tuesday, which leads into Ash Wednesday tomorrow, which marks the beginning of Lent.
You can make pancakes with buckwheat.
Yeah.
Buckwheat flour.
Nope, not in my household.
Apparently it's good with smoked salmon. Creme fraiche, bit of chives, off you go.
That sounds like a very luxurious pancake. I just use 1 cup of flour, 1 egg, 1 cup of milk. That's it. Cook it in butter and then put butter on top.
Oh, butter. That's very French of you, Liz.
And a bit of sugar. Why not? You got to cook it in butter, otherwise, you've got to get the extra bit of.
I just buy those
weight
shaker
on
maker
your
things
arteries.
from the baking section at Foodland.
Very easy.
Fill them up with water. I mean, the pancakes taste like rubbish
I
compared
know.
to the ones you're
1 cup of
pumping out.
SR flour, 1 egg, 1 cup of milk. That's it.
That's an easy recipe to remember.
Three ingredients.
Three,
That's it.
yeah.
Perhaps you will be making pancakes today
On
or tomorrow morning for your loved ones, marking Valentine's Day as well as Ash Wednesday. Big day today and tomorrow, really. To join us, though, is our floristry expert, Sally Watton, who runs Floristry by Sally Watton in North Adelaide. Morning, Sally.
Good morning. How are you both?
We're probably less tired than you, Sally.
Less stressed.
I would assume that, yeah.
Tell us about your prep for Valentine's Day. We heard in our news earlier that today is the bigger day between today and tomorrow because people get in early for their flowers. How's your prep been?
Definitely. We've had a few in already. They're wanting to surprise their partners and actually buy them today. It's just a really gorgeous atmosphere in here. The shop is brimming, and it's just fun.
How does your day work, Sally? Where do the flowers you see in all the florists around Adelaide come from? Is there a wholesale flower market here?
Oh, look, everyone sources them from different businesses and farmers, but I guess my really huge focus is locally grown, or at least Australian grown, because, a lot of farms are getting smaller because of our weather we've had. So crops just completely get wiped out very quickly. So unless we support those local ones, I'd prefer to pay a little bit more for a really beautiful local bunch that's exceptional quality, rather than something that has been imported and very poor quality.
Sally, sorry, I was going to say, what are our trends this year? What are people choosing to buy?
Here, where it's either really lush and romantic or very pretty. So a really, really pretty bunch. We've got local hydrangeas and dahlias, and it's just really, really beautiful. And then we've got really amazing wild, huge bunches with figs and lotus pods and ginger leaf and all sorts of things in them. So really big and interesting is really popular too.
Are you finding more that natives are getting a gallop, and more people are looking to native plants and thinking actually that's something that could have application for floral arrangement?
Yeah, absolutely. And there's no reason why you can't have a complete mix of roses and a ginger leaf and a native bloom. You know, there's just so many different things that we do, and they look very modern and beautiful.
Any sour sobs in your posies, Sally?
No.
Just the old farming trick. That
say
must be.
Say it with sour sobs. Hey, where's your business, Sally? We always like to promote local businesses. Where are you?
I am on 157 Melbourne Street,
North
of course Adelaide. So I'm directly across from the Lion Hotel on the corner. Come in and see us. We're going to be open longer today till 6:30, and then also tomorrow we'll go from 8 to 7:30 tomorrow, because it just gives people time, you know, on their way to dinner or after work to come and grab something. And we've got the shop just completely booming. So don't be concerned that we'll have something beautiful, and we've got some really amazing bunches all wrapped, ready to go.
Sally, thank you very much. Happy Valentine's Day to you and your staff there. Floristry by Sally Watton. She's just mentioned she's opposite the Lion Hotel there on Melbourne Street, and plenty of time to flock there and pick up a lovely bunch. Sans sour sobs.
Sans, French for without. Luce, it's been a pleasure. Always is a pleasure doing the show with you. And tomorrow you'll return to your enclosure over there. We'll be back. But, mate, I always have a great time when we do the show together. You're very good at it. And,
thank you.
Yeah, well done.
Wednesday tomorrow, back to Will and David. We'll catch you then.
On 5AA Mornings today, we'll look at fairy bread and healthy school lunches, and no truth in the rumour that hundreds of thousands manufacturers downscaling to tens of hundreds to get around this. Also, deer culling in the